Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Taco Tuesday. It turns out it's 1:30 p.m. on Taco Tuesday. Hey, did you know Schneider bought De Boer? Oh yeah, and Heartland bought Smith. It's getting crazy out there. U.S. Express, though, had some layoffs not long ago. There's a trucker strike in South Korea. If people did that here, wow, imagine what you could get done. Boston Sumner Tunnel closes for 36 weekends in a row. But don't worry, next year they're going to close 7 days a week for a while. Yes, enjoy that. Fuel, it's average $5.71. It's $5.19 a gallon for gasoline here in Lafayette. By the way, it's 90 degrees with a 78-degree dew point, which is crazy. The dew point hit 80 degrees here yesterday. That is super high. Don't go out and don't do anything outside, basically. So that's what they're saying, and I kind of agree with them. So we're back for a little bit here and see what's going on. It's Cassius King Trucking was first today, and I appreciate that. Got this set up a little bit late to see what was going on. George Wilson is here today. Steel Horse, hello there. Joan Harper, hello. It's hot for you too, I'm sure. Not that far from here. It's blasting out there. Heat. It's just crazy. Thing about roller wieners, they're good any day of the week. Yes, I totally agree, right? It doesn't matter what day it is. By the way, it's Flag Day today. Also, it's Flag Day, so happy birthday to the flag. Creature 937, hello. It's good to see you. George Costanza, everyone whip out your wieners. Yes, as always. That's for every day also, though. Isn't that the thing? Bill of the Woods is here. Hello. Chris 76, what's going on? It's hot out today. I know. It's crazy heat. Again, tomorrow. Fortunately, we're going to cool off. It's only going to be 99 today, but then tomorrow we get a cool off here to 97. So that would be really nice. GJG, yeah, finally, I agree, right? Finally, Million Miler. Hey, what do you think about what all that's going on there in the current news? How about that? Let's see. Kelly Patterson is here. What's going on? Oh, I saw this here too, right? Dwight is here. Good afternoon from Cancun, Mexico, Grumpy Trucker. Wow. Is it even hotter there? It probably can't be. Diesel at Bakersfield, 705. Right, that's really something. Glad that you're not paying for it, right? So, of course, it depends, right? Paying for it is all just just depends on how much money you're making. At a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter, right? So, right? I hope you remember to do hair and makeup. Yeah, that's a everyday kind of thing, right? No matter what. Stan Dodge is here. Hello there. Welcome back. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Gary Bates is here. Where am I? Last week was chaos for you, Luke. The tractor broke down, the clutch went out on the motorcycle, and the brake caliper locked up in your car. Man, it's time to rent a car from Enterprise. They'll pick you up. Not sponsored by Enterprise. Okay, though I should be. So I wish. Pat Love, hey, what's going on? Let's see. Ronald, I can smell you from here, no doubt. Although did shower today because midweek. So John Black, have you ever ate a wiener in Lafayette and wound up in Gas City? Oh, very good. Some Hoosier humor. It's Happy Chorizo Taquitos Tuesday from Loves Juan. Boy, I wish I had a picture or something like that. That would have been better than the picture I put up. Came here to see Gracie, Flat Highway. I'd like to see her too. I don't know where she is at the moment. Probably looking at the birds because I filled the bird feeder. All of the squirrel was out there eating all my bird seed out there. Let's see. We all missed her somewhere. We all missed you. Thank you very much. I miss doing this. I really do. That's why we're back here today. When I get some time, I'm back on it. So, Roller Wiener Tuesday. Yeah, kind of. Trucking with Dante. Is the Swift layoff really true? I haven't heard about Swift laying people off. I've not heard of any company laying drivers off. U.S. Express laid off 5% of their workforce, and none of them drivers. So they laid off people like in the office, back office staff, and stuff like that. I haven't heard that Swift is laying anybody off. They're running ads for drivers. Ryan Marcus back. Yes, I try to be back. Rolling tamales. Yeah, that'd be more for the wife, right? Tamales, okay, right? Not my favorite. How about burrito Tuesday? John Harper, I love RV life, but in a hotel this week as they're putting on my solar. So you get this RV and you stay in a hotel. Well, still, at least it's cool in there, right? In the hotel. So I was wondering how the RV would do today. I guess we don't have to worry about it. Should be good since it's brand new. Yesterday filled up in New Jersey, $900. My sympathies to the company. Yes, there were people posting pictures of $1,200 fill-ups and stuff. Yeah, the company. But, they got to have all that figured in the rate. So I don't feel too bad for them. I'm sure they're making money or all these places will close. Me and Myler, as far as us at Smith Transport, our pay and benefits stay the same, but was advised by upper management to hold on my current truck as long as possible since new trucks come in with Optimus idle and and the bunk. I cannot imagine that you will keep that truck when it gets turned in for the same kind of truck. Maybe, but I just don't see, a Heartland buying your truck. So maybe, though, maybe. Plebiscite manager, your channel would be huge if your wrenches didn't censor so many people. I hear. Oh, maybe. That's a possibility, but, we got to keep it, relatively clean, family friendly here. We don't want all the drama that a lot of other channels get into. I don't like any of that. Has anything to do with trucking. So we keep that off of there. So if it results in a not as much growth, this is not a drama land. So, but I hear what you're saying. Paul, at the company yard, it's bearing with trailers. Freight is moving. Yeah, there's freight. I mean, the freight's going all over the place still. So we haven't had a slowdown, although rates are down a little bit. Rates are down. I do have rates 271. It's down 30 cents since March. So rates are coming down a little bit, the average rate. At the same pilot truck stop gas for Supreme is $7.59. Wow, Supreme. I haven't heard it called that. Ethel, right? Premium here, which I just filled up the wife's car here, was $5.89. So over the weekend for premium here at Meyer. Idle heaters, no more bunk, no more double bunk, and no more air ride passenger seat. Really? Why they got to cut out the air ride passenger seat? How much does that save? And double bunk, I'm okay without the top bunk. I just use it for storage, so that'd be okay with me without that on there. But the air ride passenger seat, what is that, to encourage you to not have a passenger with you? Because nobody's going to want to sit in it. How much does that really save? I'm Michael Swift. I'm in. Couldn't find you. I'm here. Doing good. The air set on 68 when I'm in it. All right. Yeah, it should keep the thing cool. I'm sure they got all that figured out. Yours is big enough to be ducted, right? That RV should have ducted air like a house where it's got vents and stuff in it, I think. I should have looked at that on the thing. Are you still putting in outrageous hours, or is that calmed down? Yeah, we're down now from that, so that's good. Would leave the house some days at 5:30 in the morning, get home at 8 p.m., 8:30. So what time do we get started on Tuesdays now? We're going a little bit later in today. That's why we're here with the show. I would have started a little bit earlier, but the wife, daughters were here, and they're going to go see that Jurassic Park movie today. So that's where they're going to go off to see that and pick the hottest day of the year. You can reserve your seats now at the theater. Pretty interesting. Roller weenies hurt my belly. Wow. It depends how many of them you have. Heartland bought our stocks out at triple the amount, but there are talks that we may get no more 389s. I don't think you're going to get. That's the first thing I thought of, is that no way are you getting those trucks again. There's no way. You might have made some money in the stock, but your truck, once it's gone, it's gone. It's going to be 3 Loves within 110 miles, Indy to Chicago. Yeah, they're building that one here, exit 175. There'll be a Loves here, I-65 in Indiana, right here in Lafayette. It hasn't been started yet or anything, so it's going to be a little bit. Women, or at least this woman, doesn't want to hear the nasty talk and filthy language. Joan Harper, exactly, right? We try to keep that any woman, man too, right? We don't really need that. I know that's at the counter at the truck stop, but we try to keep that to the minimum too. I kept looking at the Sunday rant. I appreciate that. That's all I was able to get out some days. I take passengers with me, so I need 2 bunks. Oh, I guess that would be kind of weird depending on who's coming with you. All right. Oh, that's a way to get you to not take a passenger. No top bunk and no air ride passenger seat. But they go, but you can have a passenger. Like, who's going to come with you then? You're going to have to set up a cot or something in there. Hello from Denver. SM, hello. What's going on? Is it cooler than 100 degrees there? Wow. Heartland will not buy 389. Steel Horse. Yeah, I agree, right? Those trucks, that's the last you're going to see of those trucks there. They're going to be matching trucks with the rest of the Heartland trucks. My bunk over the driver's seat is storage. Yeah, that's what I did in the truck. And I see the bunk, so the forward bunk there, which I guess is a loft, they call it in those or whatever, is just storage. You can just fill the thing up with stuff. Can't wait for DeBoer Volvos to start having those 3 bunks. Right. That's a different company, but yeah. Has anybody heard anything about that too? Is DeBoer, are they going to stay separate? I just can't imagine that. They're going to see Jurassic on the IMAX. Yeah, for years, we've only gone to IMAX. You can buy the tickets online now, so it's always IMAX. Always go to the IMAX. Figure on Tuesday afternoon, there's nobody around. And it's not my kind of movie, so she can take her kids with her, and who are adults, certainly, and go with that way. I think you have the wrong Smith company. Asian Maya Show did the same thing. Smith Transport, right? Roaring Springs. Yeah, absolutely, right? Black trucks, got it. You might get 387, but you'll get a Fleet Freightliner. Yeah, it's going to be, if they're already saying, look, you can't have air ride passenger seat, then this is like cost cutting to the max, right? It's going to be hard plastic and, just a fleet truck, just the cheapest fleet truck, like a lot of fleets buy, which they do the same here. Mike, this channel is rated PG, sometimes PG-13 standard. Sometimes we edge over to the PG-13, but we don't like to go beyond that. Hey, Mark, welcome back. I'm in Bloomington, Illinois, going to Utah, Sam. That's a pretty good run. I'll tell you that. That's pretty good. The new Loves at 92 on I-64 is nice. RV parking as well with hookups. Yeah, a lot of them, Jay did that for a while, the Flying Jays. Now they have hookups at the Loves and dump stations and everything. Yeah, they're basically making it for everybody. I'm in. Sir Horse, so far only 579s with high-rise sleepers, so once my truck gets retired from her service and I get 5 years in after buyout, we got the stock paid out, I'm leaving, it'll go somewhere else. Well, unless it's, for the truck, there's not that many places running those kind of trucks, really. You had those unique trucks. I wish they would keep them. The Loves and Gary's reopening. I saw that they're finally going to get that place open. They have all the bulletproof glass in, and they give you 5 rounds of ammunition for every gallon that you fill up, which is pretty nice. Ever a student you didn't get along with? Oh, yeah, tons of people you don't get along with. They're just some people that are not agreeable because for some people, trucking wasn't what they want to do. It's something they're like forced to do, something that they have to do, where the government says, hey, here's a retraining thing or whatever. So not everybody, it's not made for everybody. And the longer they're out, the worse it gets. And some just won't cooperate. Like here, it's shower time. Let's go shower. I'm not taking a shower. We're showering, right? Or it's going to be a problem. Asian Mai showed the Smith out of Minnesota, and then he made a video saying he was incorrect. Cassius King Trucking. Yeah, it's Smith Transport from Roaring Springs. Roaring Springs with, as they say, terminals in one other state and Indiana. Although the terminal here only has like 1 truck in it. GP Transco's here. Hey, what's going on? We thought the show was over for good. Now we know it's on Tuesday. Well, it's on Tuesday today. So the show's never over for good. Nothing is over until we say it's over, right? As they said as John Belushi said. Everything is so high. I have more ride on my suspension. What's more ride? A female Lafayette officer said if I take her on a date, she wouldn't write me a ticket, flat highway. I believe that. I believe that. I've only had to pay some officers. That was in Chicago many years ago. They don't ever offer that. They go, if you take me on a date, I will write you a ticket. That's what they say to me. It's legal. You can run 3 drivers in a truck. It is legal. Yeah, you can have 3 in a truck. And we know there's a certain company out of Utah that should remain nameless. We'll call them, we'll make a name up like Sierra England. And they do run that. Yeah. I would leave too. Look for a private fleet. Always go private if you can. Wish I knew what happened to Indiana Jack. Who's Indiana Jack? This guy trucks trucking community. Name change. Welcome. Well, there's a good-looking man. Well, thank you. You must have a mirror there. RVs are banned from the Loves in Marshall, Michigan. Somebody dumped sewage on the fuel island. Well, they should ban trucks too then for leaving bags of it around in the parking lot. How about that? How about that? Oh my gosh, my Freightliner got retired a couple weeks ago, and I'm in a 2022 Kenworth. Been a really good truck so far. All right. Yeah, retire that, get a new one. What's in that? Is it PACCAR running in that thing, or what engine did they put in it? Let's hope, since supposedly we're still running independent from Heartland Express, but part of Heartland Express, there's a chance we may still get those fingers crossed on the Opti Idol. I just cannot imagine Heartland buying those same trucks. Maybe. I'd be really surprised. Because then, you know what, drivers at Heartland are going to be like, well, why can't we have one of those nice trucks? Why do we got to run these trucks that we're running over here? So that's the kind of thing it would be. Oh, more ride is like air ride, but you don't bounce. All right, so kind of like load leveling on my old town car that I had many years ago. To keep it level so you don't you don't bounce it down the street. Although sometimes you pay for that, though. Some people pay for that kind of thing. Did you see this guy? This guy had 120 gallons of meth in 24 5-gallon jugs in his one of his fuel tanks. And it was worth $18 million. He said so that he could pay off a debt from his uncle, cousin, I forget what now. He's life in prison is what he's going to get for that. Life in prison. That's a lot of meth. Let me tell you what, that is a lot of meth. That is a truck driver coming across the border at Laredo. And guess what? The dogs, they can smell that. Okay, you can't just put it in a tank. All the technology, hey, let's get a dog out there, and they can smell that stuff. He was facing life in prison. John, I saw teal GP Transco drive in Marcy, New York on Route 49 East Thursday. Cool truck. Wow. What are they doing way out there? I guess because the show hasn't been on, GP Transco feels like they can send trucks east of Indiana-Illinois border now. They're like going to sneak them out there. Sneaking them over there. Joan Harper, Indiana Jack is a YouTuber that was an owner-upper that had a truck named Red and then became a recruiter in Alabama. Oh, all right. I don't know who. I never heard of that person, I guess. There's Kenworth, and then there's everything else. Once you drive one, you never drive anything else, apparently. I had a T800 years ago and a T600. I like those. Liked them. I had a T2000 once for a few weeks, too, which was a pretty nice truck. But I don't get a lot of Kenworths. When you were a company driver, you don't get tons of cool trucks when you work at a place that's super cheap on the truck side. 2022 Volvo. My company just put me in turns 10,000 miles. Got it with 389 on it. Wow, that's good. It's like almost brand new. I love when they keep the plastic on there. I keep the plastic on the passenger seat forever. I never take that off, so it still feels like you have a new truck. It's cheaper to run on methane. That's his logic. One, yeah, it's not like just like a little bit. You can't just say, well, personal use. He actually admitted what's to pay a debt. That's life. They said that is life in prison is what he's facing. I don't know if he'll get life. He'll get a decade or more probably. That's crazy. It's got a PACCAR MX-13. All right. Does that seem to pull okay? As we get these smaller displacement things, 13, they still crank them 400, 450 horsepower, but geez. Watch your video on Melton. It was 3 years old. What's your opinion on Melton now? Well, we get Melton drivers here that come on occasionally. And Melton, yeah, still doing good. Still gets a recommendation. Absolutely. It was 3 years old. I thinking, wow, that's something. But I guess the channel's been up for a long time. But yes, Melton's still in the groove. Let's see, where's the Melton thing right here? I have a thing for them right there. There's Melton. And there's their phone number. How about that? You can go coast to coast with Melton, which is just still always just amazes me. It just amazes me. Mark had a T1 Kenworth. They had the first one. The VIN was 1. T1 Kenworth. Yeah, I remember getting the T800. This would have been in like 90, 89, 90 way back then, and it was low mileage too. It had some miles, 20-some thousand miles or something. I thought I was big dog trucking in that. I just started driving. I had my Wieners too squared for too long. Glad to have you back. You can't, those square ones, they just won't roll around right in the rollers. We can't be using that. Ronald, my buddy, driving Smith, brand new truck 389. Guest, welcome to Internationalville. Well, that's the thing. Keep that truck. Don't wreck it. Don't scratch it. Don't complain about it or anything. Because they already have the trucks. They're certainly not going to get rid of them, I don't think. Right now, that wouldn't make any sense. They have trucks that are already running. Getting used to the dolly in my car to vacuum and pull. Okay, good. It should sit back there. Good. You won't even notice pulling it around. I'm sure the car is low weight compared to everything else. And I hope that does good for you, running that car around. So then when you get somewhere, you can go places. I see people running golf carts and stuff around. And I was thinking maybe you could get a Segway scooter and run that around. Brad Mitchell. So I go to the fueling station the other morning to fuel up for the day. Driver shut down, sleeping in one of the lanes. Only at a 3-lane fuel depot. Who does that? Oh, lots of drivers. They're like, well, I'm out of hours, so I'm just going to shut down right here in the fuel lane. Hey, and I've seen people pull up in front of a cone or whatever. I guess that's all right if the fuel lane's not working, I suppose. But, go try and find a parking place somewhere. Nobody thinks about, oh, maybe somebody's going to need to fuel. If they would have vacuum sealed the meth, the dogs would have never smelled it. I don't know. These dogs, they put it in coffee and everything else, and they were in a fuel tank. So one of the tanks, they had put them in there and then welded the tank back shut. Amazing, really. Cassius King Trucking, where's Kim Kardashian to stand up for this driver that got caught with all the meth? Yeah, we need her to come out of the woodwork. She's still busy wearing Marilyn Monroe's dress or whatever, I guess. Where's Kim Kardashian when you need her? That's the thing. We can never need her. We need her and she's not there. Brian, is GP Transco still paying the best? With freight rates so low and fuel so high, I wonder if they're going to have to lay people off because they bid off more than they can chew. I haven't heard that there's going to be any layoffs, GP Transco, or really anywhere else for any road drivers. And, once you have contracted freight, you can get all these fuel discounts and stuff, and you can still do okay. So I haven't heard anything about layoffs really anywhere. U.S. Express laid people off, but it was back office people. And otherwise, places seem to be doing just fine. Considering how much everything is, Every quarter, all these public companies report their money. They're making all kinds of money. The money falls out of the sky on their heads when they're doing their reports. So I'm on my way over the RV parks and the state parks. How much does it cost to RV park in a state park? It's Mr. Plow. Look who it is. It's me. KWT 800, best truck ever made. It was squared off, right? And I was pulling a flatbed with a 36-inch sit-in sleeper. Those were the days. And it was pretty good, though. You had all kinds of switches to turn the lights on. They took the Mac program and put it in there. So you had the 2 outside lights had a switch, and then the 3 lights in the middle of the cab had a switch, and then you had another headlight switch. It was like clicking. It's like taking off in a space shuttle, turn your lights on. Scooter's a great idea. Look up Segway. Look that thing up. It's powered. So I think that would actually go better in a state park or whatever than an actual scooter. Yeah, look up a Segway. Segway seems to pulls hills better than my Freightliner. Well, I guess, part of it is gearing. Like Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and I can lift the world. How about that? How about some Archimedes talk? You don't get that on any other trucking channel. How about that? GP Transco, we're not lowering our driver pay. Our contracted customer base allowed us to maintain the same high level of pay regardless of freight market. We also get fuel discounts at Pilot. This is the thing. When you go to a company that says, oh, we pay percentage and you get spot market rate freight, we're doing great because the rates are up. Yeah. But you know what? Your rate goes, when the rate goes down, it goes down. You really want to be at a place, if you want to stay anywhere and make money, you got to be a place that uses contracted freight, that gets freight in a contract set up so that when the freight goes back down to 80 cents, you don't have this problem. So my RV park is called a hotel or a motel. It's called the Hilton. And I lost my little spot. Oh, I could see Heartland selling those 389s to replace them with ProStars. It would be in that game. Cash is King Trucking. Yeah, but the problem is they can't get them. That's the good thing. They can't get a bunch of internationals right now. That's the problem. They're going to have to keep them, I think, right now. Did you hear John Deere's moving a plant to Mexico? Juan, I didn't hear that, but I believe it. And that's sad. That's sad. People should stop buying those that are made in Mexico. Of course, Freightliner's already making trucks there as everybody else. George Wilson, that new Kenworth day cab, all electric, is only good for 150 miles. You have to do a minimum of 600 miles to gain acceptance. Well, they're thinking about these kind of electric things as really short haul. Like they showed one pulling a pop truck, like soda, Coke truck with it's got all those side doors on it, where they don't put that many miles on it in a day. So that's what they're thinking. I don't know who runs 600 miles a day in a day cab, but they're thinking really short haul stuff where you could go out and pick something up and come right back and plug it back in. But they are going to need, if they're going to ever do anything, it's going to have to be long range. Did you see Hyperion? Hyperion, I think is the name of it. They're building, starting in 2024, they're going to have a hydrogen-powered semi. Oh, what could possibly go wrong with that if you fuel it with hydrogen? All right. GP Transco, how often do you run in upstate New York? Wilbon 1879, hey, what's up, Trucking Answers fans? Keep this great country rolling. We're trying to, even though it's super hot today. The number of drivers who decided to try 1099 who are now calling and asking, I bet, if they can come back has been extremely high. Not surprising when those companies run 100% spot market. And now that rates are down, people's pay goes down. Okay? Think long term. Long term. You don't just bounce around, oh, I'll just take this shiny thing over here. A driver can request let me know in advance, right? A driver can request to never go there if they'd like. Oh, that's right. GP Transco has no-go zones, which you have to talk to them about. You could set some zones as no-go zones. I tried to get no-go zones like nothing east of Indiana and nothing west of Indiana, but that's too much of a no zone. Apparently, that'd be my no-go zone. Depends. It's 30 to 59. I was curious about that. $30 more like it. 50 is starting to get into, low-end motel rate. You get tired of seeing orange construction barrels? Yes, but that's never going to end. How can a single owner operator set a tariff for shipper? Good luck. Good luck with that. I don't know if you can even I suppose you could get a contract with them, but I don't know how one person, you don't have any bargaining power. Happy Rolling Wiener Tuesday. I Heart Cryptoverse. Welcome. Thinking contract freight is on the way out. No, contracted freight is going to be, it does the shipper good too, because they can plan too. So they know, okay, so in the future, we have a contract with this company and they're going to haul this freight for this price for us. So it works good for everybody, I think. The company I work for is part of the Knight Swift Corporation. They're still ordering pizza with some pizza Freightliner and Volvos in the 860s and 760s, all specifications. What is a pizza Freightliner? Has the ATA ever helped drivers? No, not that I can find out. Although, the head of the Arizona ATA came out this week. Arizona's limiting trucks to the right lane on a couple of roads that they have there. And the head of the ATA, the Arizona Trucking Association, which I guess is the ATA, different ATA, said, hey, this is crazy. You guys are stupid. He says, this is a stupid idea, I think is his exact word. So sometimes they come out, on the right side of things. What's with all the scooters around town this morning? I almost hit one because someone left it in my driveway. Flat highway. Well, if you noticed around Lafayette, if you live in the area, which most of you don't, a bunch of these bird scooters, I think they're bird scooters, are being left all over town for people to, for micro-commuting, as it's called. And these things are all over the place. Now, the one in your driveway, you should just take, all right, or throw it in a dumpster or something. I mean, I'm just sick of it. They're everywhere. People, you get paid to set these up at night, and they're all over town now. But they leave them in the dumbest places, like in front of people's driveways. Yeah. And I've rarely seen anybody riding one. Who gets on one and rides one? Trucker Mac, I love when you burn out on driving and tell your DM you need a break, and she says, there's no more time for June. She'll have to wait till July. I was wondering, yeah, forget your mental health. There's no more time off in June. Sorry, those days are taking. You should say, look, it wasn't a request. It's more like a notification to you of what days I'll be off. Greater Omaha just bought Universe Truck Lines next door to them. Greater Omaha, Brian Callahan. The other thing with the company, they seem to be hiring more and more employees every single week, so it looks like things are good, I'm assuming, Paul Harris. Yeah, look, at places that are hiring, it's a good sign. I mean, it's somewhat ironic. U.S. Express lays off and is also hiring at the same time, so it just depends on the job. But yeah, you don't want a place laying people off. Electric truck at 20 below. Oh, yeah, you get about half range at 20 below zero. So that 150, you're down to 75 miles of range. Same with a car. That's always the problem with electric vehicles. The temperature is the problem. An electric truck would do better in Florida or somewhere down south. They plug things daily at the manhole. There are plugs there for in case you bring anything electric. There are plugs to charge it. Absolutely. And don't forget free physicals down there. Just ask anyone, it turns out. 600 in a day, I do. Michael Swift in a day cab? You do 600 miles a day in a day cab? That's the thing. Hydrogen, I think the Hindenburg had an issue. Paul Harris, yeah, I think somebody's forgot about that. I saw that and I had to reread it a couple times. I'm like, wait a minute. Hydrogen, wasn't there some kind of hydrogen issue, in the past? So that's what you want, are trucks going down the road full of hydrogen. Okay, and some driver smoking and filling up their truck with hydrogen. Love it. Wait, this isn't Monday. Midlife Trucker Tom Bell. Yeah, we had to go to Taco Tuesday this week. It's just what I had to do this week. So, cheaper on gas for the scooters. That's true. They're electric. So, that's what I'm saying. Get an electric one. Because, well, you know what? If you had a small electric scooter with you, you could put it on the back of the RV and take the battery in with you. Maybe an electric bike actually would work good for this, and charge it while you're driving around. Contractor freight will always go up on the spot. All right, Mark, just tell them you're not old enough to leave the state. I can't leave the state. Well, I got plus the judge said, state, don't leave the state. So I got that issue too. I hate Mondays so much I don't roll wieners on them anymore. Oh, you don't hate Mondays, you hate your job. That's what I tell people. Don't hate Monday, hate your job. That's why people hate Mondays. It's their work. Go get rewarding work that you love. Kelly, they will have to use liquid hydrogen, which is minus 475 and explodes on contact of air. Yes, that's what they said. There'll be liquid hydrogen fueled trucks. Yes, that is correct. And I'm like, I don't know about that. So, Midlife Trucker Tom Bell, they said they're ready, though. Expect other states to limit trucks to the right lane with truck drivers passing each other as roadblocks. That's always been the case. I mean, they said that they were doing it in Arizona because they had a bunch of accidents. So that was really the problem, so they said. And, of course, they blame trucks for all the accidents. Don't get tired of seeing Schneider eggs. If you ain't seeing the eggs, it's probably snowing, Michael Swift. That doesn't seem to stop them here. They're still out doing that. The Boston Tunnel, you're going to see a bunch of them. For the next 36 weekends, the Sumner Tunnel in Boston is closed. Next summer, it closes for several weeks straight. Bird scooters have GPS. Okay. Well, then, the person, but they are still put out by someone when they charge them, they put them back out somewhere, and they're just randomly around town. They're all over. I think they're Bird here. I'm not sure if that's the company, but I think they're Bird scooters. Same idea, Lime and all these goofy scooters. Should Matthew McConaughey run for president? Hey, the guy drives a Lincoln. It's good enough for me. Trucker Hershey is here. Hello. What's going on? Trucker Matt. Also, those Bird scooter company would pay to go pick up those at night and charge them and then drop them. Good idea for a little side hustle. Yeah, if you have a way to do it, like a big van. I saw a guy that had this whole setup in a van, like a Chevy, a full-size van. Van Dura van with nothing in the back of it, and he had all these inverters and stuff, and he would put them in the van and just plug them right in and go drive around. Yeah, it's a side hustle. Is asking for potty facilities for drivers unreasonable? Ronald Morrison. All places should provide bathrooms for drivers. And after a survey, we found out that an outhouse is a satisfactory bathroom, which I kind of agree with. Roderick Williamson, thank you very much. They make hydrants that sell forklifts. Also, Toyota makes hydrants that sell cars in California. Toyota, right. The Mirai. They do, right. But you want it in a truck. That's the thing of it. You got to put a lot more in there. And can you imagine the training drivers are going to have to go through to fill these things up with hydrogen? I'm just not a fan of it. Just don't think that's the way. That's not the solution for anything. I didn't look up how much hydrogen is per energy unit. I should have done that. It's about time went to the Indy 500 as usual. Not Roger is here. All right. Well, great. How was it? Was it the greatest spectacle in racing? Joan Harper, I'm starving. I want a taco salad, but not sure where I can go to get one. Golden Corral sounds good. Oh, Golden Corral, yes. You can run that taco salad at Golden Corral under the chocolate, and they can't stop you because you paid for the whole thing. Remember that at Golden Corral. I haven't been in one for a long time. I went lease with training wheels. What do you mean by that? What is a lease with training wheels? Because there have been ads for this company. I never heard of it. John Schuster Trucking. Have you heard of it? Yeah, they upped their lease pay now to $1.20 a mile. That's pretty good. I'm thinking about doing it. $1.20 for lease drivers there. Yeah. So they've been running a lot of ads. They have e-bikes. It's pedal assist. You don't have to pedal. Right. There's some that'll just with a thumb will also, you have a little thumb throttle and you can drive around. But something like that would go good on the back of the RV. And then when you're parked or when you're driving, you can bring the battery comes off of them and you can just plug it in the RV and have 20 some miles of range. It's 2 for Tuesdays, leftover from Mondays at the manhole as well. AKA, good afternoon. What's going on? Roller Wiener Tuesday. I told you it could work. It could work, Ken P. We move stuff around. We can get things done. Those bikes are $2,500. Yes, some are expensive. Some are. Try used ones, though. Yes, I do, and I'm paid very well. I drive a new truck every year. Very nice trucks. That's just a lot of miles in a day cab, it seems like to me. I mean, I thought I was a hero putting 80 miles on a day cab a couple of days ago. One day last week, I had like 81 miles. I thought, wow, that's really something. So that's a lot of miles. So I don't think an electric truck would work for you. Ken P., how's the company cat doing? Treats her on me. Well, thank you very much for that. And I just heard her crunching her food over there. So apparently she's sick of looking at birds for a few minutes. So she's having like second lunch. And then she will be back shortly, I'm sure. But she's doing great. Sleeping as usual. Joan, I'm almost broke. All right, well, I guess that bike might not be it for you then. Brian, my company offers a quit tobacco program. I've been tobacco free for a week now, but I'm hooked on the gum. Now you got to go to the patches and get hooked on those. I have a folding e-bike in the truck. Mine was $800. It's by Electric. All right, so there's a cheaper way to do it. What's the range of that thing? George Wilson, it's sad Bobby Goodson Swap logging out of North Carolina was forced to shut down out of business because of the new economic climate. Very sad. Family tradition. Well, I mean, swamp logging. Well, how do you swamp log? But, yeah, the more companies, it is sad that companies shut down, but the more places that shut down, remember, the higher the rates go for everybody else that remains. So, is it true that Swift is laying off 600 employees? I didn't read that. I mean, I was looking at everything. I didn't read that. If it is, it's not going to be drivers. I just cannot imagine they're laying drivers off. They're running ads. Okay, there's a video on your channel showing your electric folding bike. All right, let me get that out here, right there. All right, there we go. Go over there. Check out that Electric. How about that Electric? Sure it's not made here. I don't think there's any of them made here. Gracie for sheriff. Oh, that wouldn't be any good. All the criminals would get away while she sleeps all day and most of the night. Trucks are the cause of the accidents. At least that's what 5 billion lawyer billboards across the nation will lead you to believe, right? And so it worked. In Arizona, they were going to restrict to the right lane. Gracie sleeps too much. She's trying to cut back. She's down to about 19 and a half hours a day of sleeping or whatever. So she's up for part of the day. No chocolate fountain. There's no chocolate fountain there? Really? That's why you go there. Well, how do you get chocolate on all your everything, steak and everything else? They better be pouring chocolate out for you then. Why can't you have a chocolate fountain? Belt Sandman. Mark, not much traffic in Boston Sumner Tunnel. Clearance is 12.6. Only shorter trucks can use it. The main airport Boston route is Ted Williams Tunnel. Okay, good. I didn't know that. I did see that it was closed, and I thought that's going to be a real problem. Maybe it's not going to be that much of a problem. It made all the trucking news channels, so... Midlight Trucker, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll have to watch my channel for my new lease adventures. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know they did that there, to be honest with you. They don't advertise it much, certainly. Maybe it's a new thing. And now that I put out that JCT thing, you may want to consider that to increase your pay. I prefer nuclear power for all vehicles. Clean and efficient population control. That's true. Only fill up once. Joe Carrier says they get cheaper insurance when governing the trucks. I never got asked for my insurance, how fast I'll be driving. Exactly. I mean, I don't know if that's true. A lot of large carriers also basically only insure, the hot, big stuff. So I don't know if that's true or not. They're doing it for fuel or whatever. They never ask you that on your car. Will you be staying under 85? If you govern your car, that's a good question to ask. Progressive, ask Flo. Hey, if I govern my car to 70, will I get less insurance? The Golden Corral in West Jacksonville is one of the best. I like this Golden Corral here. I haven't been in there in a long time. And now that the chocolate fountain is gone, I may have to boycott it, although they won't notice since I haven't been in there. Oh, I went lease with Arthur Express. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I pay my lease and fixed expenses by the mile, and I'm paid $250 per mile. If the truck isn't moving loaded miles, I don't pay. All right. I've seen, that's actually how JCT does it also, ironically. It's like $100 a week or something, plus a per mile rate. But so for $250, wouldn't you rather do $120? Doesn't that seem better? No? Okay. There's a thing called Choco Taco. Is that at the Golden Corral? Range of my electric bike is 40 miles per charge. Oh, that's pretty good. That's plenty. That's plenty. You can go fast enough to get away from people chasing you. Pedal Harley Davidson. Doesn't Harley have... They have an electric motorcycle, right? The Livewire. They do have an electric motorcycle. Yo, Mark, with 18 years experience, 31 cents, laughable. Who's paying 31 cents for anybody? Even to start. I mean, that's crazy. Nobody, I can't imagine anybody still paying 31 cents. I just don't even imagine it. Joan Harper, is your wife feeling better now? Yeah, she's feeling better and able to get out to the theater at least. So thank you for that. You have an RV, you need to tow street legal dune buggy. They go upwards to $20,000, but you can afford an RV, you can afford an off-road dune buggy. There are 4 seaters available. Yeah, towing on a street legal dune buggy. That would actually be cool to cruise around the RV park. Nice to hear from you again. Going to Sullens Grove, Pennsylvania for delivery tomorrow morning. James, all right. Thank you very much for being back here. Michael Swift, dude, I've been at the game a long time. 600 is not a hard time. You just have to plan your time. I'm not saying it's a hard time. I'm saying it's just a lot of miles in a day cab. The idea, I thought, is to not run as many miles. So that's just a long day cab day, The Buick Electra was not electric. I know I had a Buick Electra Estate wagon. A 1978 Buick Electra Estate. Beautiful. Was not electric, though. They took it away. Pizza took away dine-in at their restaurants. What is going on with this world? The whole idea of going there is a chocolate fountain. If I want to put chocolate on my mashed potatoes, I'm going to do it. And there's nothing they could do about it because I paid my $8.99. Swamp logging offered at the manhole. I wonder what we're logging in the swamps. It seems like it's so specialized of a thing that it would be hard for you to go out of business. 12.6 for the Sumner Tunnel. Did they lower the height? I haven't been through there in many years. I got to be honest with you. Ghost Face Trucker. I got let go from JCT last month. I can afford food now. The best thing that ever happened. You got a pay raise just by not being there. They're taking company drivers too now, it says. Yeah, who's the 31 cents? I just cannot imagine 31 cents today. I just can't imagine. I don't see it anywhere. Trans Am starts at 31 cents. Experience at 32 cents. There's no way. There's no way Trans Am is starting anybody at 31 cents. I mean, all right, if you're saying it, maybe, but I mean, no way. I just can't believe it. Nobody would go there. Who goes there for 32 cents as an experienced driver? Much less than, I could see inexperienced drivers may not know, and they get recruited at the out of truck school where they bring a pizza in, a cheese pizza, and then people go there. Go drive for Mercer. Owners are always welcome. Isn't Mercer owners only? I think they're only owners. Ghostface. Now you can actually go eat now that you're out of that place. That place is a disaster. They're advertising $1.20 like that's some kind of great deal. Oh, $1.20. I'm like, oh. And they're getting killed for it in the comments, which is funny, and they don't even care. 31 cents, but 5,000 miles a week. Million miler in 7 months. Yeah. They go, look, you make $1,500 a week. Yeah, 5,000 miles. Starting at 31 cents for all miles the truck moves. Team training. That'd be 62 cents split then, right? So that wouldn't be bad. If you could get 5,000 miles, then you're getting $1,500 a week in training. I could live with that. That's more like it. But 32 cents for experienced drivers, that cannot happen anymore. This isn't 1960. There's no way people could even advertise that with a straight face, I wouldn't think. So everybody, okay, so if you don't have air, do not sleep in your truck today. Okay, don't do that. I-30, did you see this wreck in I-30 in Arkansas? There was a big semi-wreck a little while ago. They melted the whole road. It burned for so long it melted the pavement. They had to repave half of a bunch of road there in I-30 in Arkansas. That was really something. I saw that. They showed the road. It had all melted into nothingness. And in South Korea, trucker strike. Okay, so they said Samsung and Hyundai are having problems over there. Did you see all the trucks lined up? That's what people say is going to happen here. That never happens. It is happening there. Hyundai, I guess starting Monday, which actually rhymes. Hyundai Monday. Wasn't that a song? Anyways, they're going to stop production over there because they can't get in and out because all the trucks are not moving around. Have you heard from Wild Bill? He told me about 3 weeks ago something went wrong on his phone. He lost all his pictures and numbers. No, I did not. I have not heard from him. I will say whatever your phone is, it doesn't matter. Always back up everything every day. Like all pictures and everything, as soon as they're taken on the phone, they get backed up. So everybody should do that on whatever phone they have. Make sure that it's an automatic thing so you don't have to do it, and everything on your phone gets backed up to the cloud. So that if something happens to your phone, you don't lose everything on it. Because you don't get the pictures at the photomat like we used to anymore. Photomat. I have air, but now that I pay for fuel, I'm using a fan. Right now it's a different story, isn't it? Now that you got to buy. Now, so what happened here? What happened? Did you buy a truck there from them, or did you put a truck on? Well, you're leasing it. So what kind of truck is it? What kind of truck do they give you there? Happy Monday, brothers and sisters of the Super Slab. The Super Slab, which is all melty today since it's so warm. Northeast Arkansas, US 63 bridge over Black River near Walnut Ridge. Is this still a restricted route? That's a good question for somebody that lives in the area. Maybe one of the Walmart people that is out there in Arkansas. So where did this okay, so I had a bunch of stuff on here today. Oh yeah, so is the rising diesel cost closing companies? They made a big deal about this, that companies are closing, quote, left and right in an article. And I looked left and I looked right and I didn't see any companies closing. So I'm not sure what they mean by that, but I don't see this happening in big numbers. Still, Horse, have you heard the new lease? The recruiter called it lease to 99 cents a mile. The truck leases for twice its book price. Wow. Where's that going on? Yikes. Trans Am 31 cents. Look, 31 cents wouldn't be bad if it was all miles while you were in training and the truck ran 4,000 or 5,000 miles. That'd be $1,500 while you're being trained. That's pretty good. So then I could live with that. But there's no way they can pay an experienced solo driver 32 cents and get away with it. I went lease with them. It's just a lease Penske truck. Oh, that's a Penske truck. All right. So will Penske, can you take it to any place, any Penske, and get it fixed? Because that'd be pretty convenient. And it's a Volvo? All right. That's the way to go. Especially if Penske's going to fix it. You look better in black than orange. Thank you very much. That shirt had seen better days, so wife got me a new shirt, so Now I got this shirt to wear. Sir England will pay 31 cents a mile once they find a way to fit 5 guys in the truck. Yeah, and they don't mean hamburgers. Cement melting point at 650 degrees. I guess they had a truck fire, though. Probably spilled fuel on the road and melted the road. So they had to come out and repave and everything. There's been a lot of truck accidents of people not paying attention. Clearing 99 cents a mile is bad. I don't care what Penske makes on the lease. Oh, yeah. If you're clearing 99 cents in your pocket, that's great money. Right at the end of the day, I think. Net, before taxes, of course. Will there ever be a day when someone can sue a YouTuber for putting out false information about something? Not you, just YouTube information in general. Sure, they can do that right now. Any purposely put out information where you say something that you know is not correct? Absolutely, you know. You still shop at Meijer, Ryan? I absolutely do. I was there Sunday morning, beating the door down at 6 in the morning. Come on out to the Lafayette Meijer and say hello. Taking any Penske for maintenance or washing, that's a pretty good deal. There's a lot of Penskes around the country. So that's actually probably better than, most leases in that at least you can get it fixed everywhere, especially being a Volvo. The manhole pays more than 31 cents. Depends on what you're getting paid to do there. The cleaners there, they get like $50 an hour. The cleaners that come in, they will not clean for less than that. A jub a wub. They only told us to pay extra attention out of our outer route miles. Other than that, nothing's changed. Yeah. See? And they're like, you can turn your truck off if you're not in it. That kind of thing, of course. But they've always said that. So now you have a new truck, can't run the AC. You have a choice. A 160 or 260. Well, today, you're going to have to run the air today. The dew point at 78, 80 degrees. I mean, they were asking people yesterday to not go outside at all at 80. It was just too hot, dangerous. Over 70 is considered oppressive. Saw an nice lady at the pilot help a driver do a pre-trip inside the truck. Well, let's see, now this is what I'm talking about, where we can come together as a people and just help each other. Someone that goes around and asks people if they need help with anything and then just help them do it. This is what America's about. I'm surprised carriers are not advertising work here and your first fill-up is on us. I've seen some advertise, fill first, the truck's full or get $500 of fuel, that kind of thing. I've seen that kind of thing out. Here and there, they put that out there. Did you hear Meijer expanding out west? No. West for Meijer would be like west of here. Good. They've been having some payment problems there. I will tell you, a couple weeks ago, you went in and you couldn't use any card. As soon as I walked in, they're like, no card, you have to use cashier. So I had to leave and go get money. Life trucker, Michael, I can run the air conditioner, but I'm cheap. See, I just couldn't do it. Today, there's no way you can sit in the truck today without air conditioning on. I just have a question. Do a lot of trucking companies limit how much you fuel up at a fuel stop? I always fill the tank regardless of what my instructions said. Charles. Yeah, some do. Some will say, look, 50 gallons, 80 gallons, whatever. A decent place, though, just gives you places to fill up and you go fill the truck up because they get discounts and all that kind of stuff. Places that limit you, especially to small amounts, 64 gallons, and then fill up 3 hours later for 90 gallons. It's just mind-numbing and maddening for drivers. Donald Trump needs to be sued. Stolen election? Well, that could be his opinion about the election, certainly. That might be an opinion of him and on other people. They could certainly put that out there. That's not like putting out false information about a place, And it can't be JCT. Their ads say $1.20. And that's pretty good money when you really look at it. Penske or Ryder allows you to go to any of their facilities for any reason. I've used the Ryder in Rubidoux, California, and Vegas. That's what I'm saying. Penske, something like that, a Ryder shop, you could just go in there and get your truck fixed. So there's going to be more Penskes than there are probably Archer terminals, right? Or most companies' terminals, and that's way better. That might be a better way to do it. You don't have to wait so long for service, and there's more terminals around in the area. Is the truck half full or half empty? I never look. When I go in, I just fill it up. That has been the beauty of being a company driver, is you never have to worry about filling up. And around here, it's been like $5.50, $5.60 for fuel. Boy, nice to just swipe their card and fill the truck up. Run it while you're driving. Well, of course. Keep it on super cold and shut down. Put the reflective window shades. I'm not in for that. I don't care. I just can't do it. I gotta sleep. I got the air here and I got a huge fan blowing on me sleeping. I just cannot. That kind of heat. I'm not going to be able to get any sleep, and that's not any good. I need to sleep. Let's not get started on political things. Yes, absolutely. Arcturus was one terminal. Penske has a facility there. Yeah, so if they have one terminal, that'd be a problem for service if you're 1,000 miles away. But that's why I'm saying if there's a Penske, there's Penske's all over the place. So you should be able to get service faster and take the truck in. Yeah, I like that idea. I like it. That's not a bad way to do it. That might be better than getting it from a company. Corydon is still $4.89. Wow. Where is that? At Joe Schmo's gas station, though? I mean, is that a regular place? I won't buy gas at some off-brand Aldi place that says eat and get gas here or whatever. It's got to be a decent place. That's super cheap. It's $5.19 here, and I paid $5.89 for it Sunday for the wife, for Ethel, as they call it, for premium for the Escape. I don't take that, but she does. So that's $1 less. I don't know what their premium would be there, $5.20. It'd be a long drive, though, for me to fill the car up to go all the way down there, I think. Hey, brake check week's coming up August 21st to 27th. Don't forget about that. Keep your brakes fixed. So, and this Minnesota driver, this is like the greatest thing ever. Did you hear about this? So there's a driver in Minnesota, and he has petitioned the FMCSA for an exemption from hours of service. He says, look, I'm a 30-year driver, and so I should be exempt because the hours of service do not make it safer for me to drive. They make it less safe. And there's actually a comment period, which is open right now. You can go to the FMCSA site and look that up and comment on whether this guy should get his exemption. And I'll tell you, I don't think it matters what we think. I don't think they're going to give it to him because that would open the floodgates of everybody getting their own personal exemption. But I got to give him, credit for thinking about that and putting it out there. And because of the law, they had to have a comment period. 40 centigrade out here in the desert headed for Tucson. Well, it's close to that here, right? That's a little over 100, mid-hundreds, 110-ish. So we're in the low 90s here, but the humidity here is what's killing it out here. It's so hot. What's the highest you've seen diesel? Like 570 here. You saw 620. This is the highest I've ever paid for gas also, or diesel, really. So it's never been this high. I don't know what it was a few years ago. It doesn't seem like it was this high. It's hard to remember back then, but I've never seen it this price. Cheeseman is a fantastic company, but I wanted to learn dispatching myself, find fueling discounts and such. Yeah, so now you have to worry about fueling discounts, even though they give you a discount, dispatch, all that. Yeah, maybe it's the next step for you. What's next then? Buy another truck and put somebody to drive it. All right, that's next. Flat Highway, the company I work for gets $1.35 off and $100 discount per tire, but we have to use Love, Speedco, and Pomp's tires only. All right, well, that's fair enough. $1.35 off is pretty good still today. Oh, it's a Shell Marathon on the 5-star. All right, so I would take a Shell or Marathon. I'll take a name brand place. I don't want a place that's just some kind of off-brand. I don't know where they're getting their gas from, even though it's probably just one. Lease breakups are just a way for someone else to pay for their equipment. Yeah, depending what it pays. I'm never a fan of them still, as I always say, right? I wouldn't do one, and I don't like them, personally. Sleep, we all need our beauty sleep. That's the thing. If it's 80 degrees, 85 degrees out, and I have a fan running, I'm not going to be able to sleep. That's just too hot for me. I paid $5 at the Loves in St. Louis. Is that your actual end cost of the fuel, or is that the pump price? Diesel prices have helped influence my diet. Oh, really? So because of the price, you got to cut down on what you're eating. I heard your podcast about, and it disappeared. Political Ask Jane Fonda. No. Right, they would do that on their place. My card is limited to $1,000. Well, that should be enough to fill up your truck. Been parked for 2 hours, 20 minutes. Truck turned off. Temperature and sleeper is 66. All right, but we got to go the whole night. And here, the humidity here is what would get to me. The dew point is just too high. I mean, I just need to be more comfortable than that. The QT in Texas, quick trip, $4.79 fuel card gives 30 cents off and 63 cents surcharge, so fuel is reasonable. See, fuel is still reasonable, so companies can stay open. That's why, I don't know why they're saying companies are closing down. If they can combine discounts, surcharges, and rates, I think companies can stay open and make it. And contracted freight. I think that's part of it too. You got to have some of your freight at least on contract. Grafton is here. Hello. Joan, a few years ago when the oil was where it was now, gas was $3 to $3.25. Yeah, right. I never thought I'd see a $5 on the pump. unless I traveled to, overseas. Anyone who lives there in Ludlow, Massachusetts needs to check out TP Equipment. I made just over $90. Doing what? $90 doing what? Find mode fuel discounts using Mudflap. Oh, I've heard about that. I've heard people advertise for that. Open roads and the fuel card. You got all these cards, right? Now you got to figure all this stuff out. It is different, right? See, I don't think anything about it. I'm like, okay, fill up, swipe it, done. Right? Because I don't have to think about what it costs. Exactly. But then also I get a truck full of plastic and, I don't get all the nice stuff either. So now, first, you're also going to have to go stop at the chrome shop, of course, and chrome the truck up because that helps you make money and get that stick shift that goes all the way to the ceiling. George Wilson, I was with a company in 99, and they held company drivers responsible for finding and fueling at the cheapest location. Really? How would I know what the cheapest location is in 99? I remember this at Regal Transportation, first over-the-road company. I do remember this. When you would go to get fuel, you would have to call them with the price. So you're in a city and you had to stop at the pump and go in and call them with the price. And they would ask you, what else is around there, whatever. And you're like, nothing, because I'm not going to go look around. And then they would give you a ComCheck. Was there still ComCheck? Some kind of payment system. It seems like ComCheck. For like $250 or whatever of fuel. And that's how you got fuel then. And what happens on these company drivers if they do not find the cheapest location of fuel? And plus, look, a company, I guess in 99, that's different, right? You would think we'd get free roller mariner with a fill-up. You should get something with a fill-up now. You going to spend $1,000? Can you get something? Yikes. My credit card has a $50,000 limit. I don't know why I need that. Still, Horace, well, hey, you never know when you need that. Anymore, that's just a cheap car right now. So, $50,000. Michael Swift. Yeah, like pump price was $5.29. I used the XPO card and it was $5.09. All right, so you saved a good over a quarter a gallon. That's a lot. That's all money in your pocket. Now you got to figure all this stuff out, right? Figure it out. Hey, Mark, I believe you should dress to the type of trucking you do. I do unloading and prefer shorts. I just don't. I say no to shorts. All right, believe me, the general public is with me on this. For me personally, they're like, Mark, you should not wear shorts anywhere. So, but for me, right, trucking, it's long pants and, some kind of closed-toed shoes for me. That's what I think. And shirt with sleeves, okay? No tank tops. It doesn't matter how hot it is in the trailer or whatever. Can be registered on an app called Fuelbook. Get some pretty good fuel discounts. Fuelbook, I never heard of it. Five-finger discount is getting very popular, John. I know. People are drilling holes in fuel tanks. They're stealing catalytic converters. Yeah, absolutely. Not off of semis, but... $4.95 Wisconsin, EFS card, and 80-cent fuel surcharge. Oh, that's pretty good. 80-cent fuel surcharge? That's strong. That's like 6 miles per gallon. That's a very strong surcharge right now. Wonder if they're getting a bigger discount than they tell you and keep the money. They could, I guess. That's always the problem with having a discount. You just never know. But as long as you're making money and you get what you're supposed to get, I don't know. I mean, U.S. Express just put out that they're going to pass 100% of money along from fuel surcharge. And I think that is something I talked about on the podcast because I've gotten a few podcasts out for those of you that are on the podcast there. Get it in your favorite podcasting app. And if they just put that out now, how much of it were they keeping before? I think the surcharge and all that should be passed on to the people buying the fuel. I'm running split sleeper, so I only have to stay cool for 3 hours, then drive again and take 7 hours later. Oh, at night. So you can split sleeper just because of the weather. Had a driver lose a finger because he tried to turn off my APU. Did you have to cut his finger off? I mean, it's like the Middle East. Did you do that to teach him a lesson? Like, so now we'll look at this guy and know, hey, this guy is the guy that cut off your APU, that stopped your APU? Wow. Oh, I meant 90,000. I was going to say 90 wouldn't be super good, at least not for a year. Yeah, you find your own fuel and the company has nothing to do with it. Yeah, isn't it great being your own boss? But actually it is because you're your own boss. On 911, don't you remember how California shot up to $5 a gallon? The government started charging people for gouging. Yeah, fuel did go up a little bit, it seems like. Maybe I read about it for California, but yeah, gouging. And of course, as I say, which I've talked about on the podcast, there is no such thing as gouging because places can charge whatever they want for a product. That's why I love working out of a distribution center We fuel on the yard and never have to worry about lines or prices or anything like that. That is nice. Having your own fuel, that's probably the best way to do it. And the company gets to control the price. You pay the IFTA tax? All right. Use your Pilot Loves points to get hot dogs. Well, you wouldn't get... The problem is you're not getting any extra points even though the price has gone up. If you spend $1,000 in there, maybe you should get 2 hot dogs. Good morning, Mark from rainy and cold Spokane, Washington. Dark. Really? 688? Really? You're going to do that today with the 90 degrees here and a dew point of 78 degrees? We had some big storms come through yesterday, but it didn't kill the temperature. I think the fuel companies know the exact amount to where people will no longer buy fuel. Maybe. It doesn't seem to affect anything because GM, which I would talk about in the podcast in the automotive section, just came out and said, hey, we are selling every pickup truck we can make. So it's not spurring people to buy any kind of fuel-efficient cars or anything else like that. It doesn't stop that. There's still plenty of traffic around. So I think at this price, it doesn't seem to stop everybody. I love figuring stuff out, spreadsheets to my friend, and now that I have a Volvo, I should get socks and slides. That's true. That's true. Because in the Volvo, and also a tracksuit. You're going to need a tracksuit as well. But you're your own boss now. And that's more than I could say, right? Somebody calls, I got to go do it. Got to do what they say. So tired of hearing the gas station claim they only make 10 cents a gallon. Give me a break, like car dealers only make $100. Tommy Cash. Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have a right to gas or fuel of any kind at any certain price. So that's what I'm saying. If they charge $20, then, they charge $20. We don't have a right to that price. There's no way the government should intervene and say, oh, you know what? They're gouging you. No, they're not, because you don't have a right to it. So there's no gouging. People could sell it for whatever they want. Fuel book just gives the price at the stations. If you enter a code, then it shows your company price. Oh, that's pretty clever. I mean, there's all this electronic stuff now. I don't know how they did this years ago. Probably on paper. Just hopped on. Ever heard of a company paying zip code to zip code? Decamp? Sure. Years ago. Is somebody still stuck in 1993 doing that? Yeah, they used to do it. You don't hear about it anymore, really. I'm sure somebody's still doing it. The weather's been bipolar, but I can't really complain about the moisture. We need it. Well, not here. The moisture's in the air here instead of being on the ground. So we don't need that. Can't wear shorts pumping up 110 degree fructose. Flat highway. 110 degree fructose. I didn't know it was warm in there. I didn't know the product was warm, to be honest with you. I guess it pumps better if it's warmer. Michael Swift, I don't touch anything. I'll just back up, open the door, and get out of the way. That's the way to do it, right? Of course, the fructose kind of does all the work for you, right? I tried to VPN to Russia and download your podcast. You're blocked there, Midlife Trucker. I notice I'm not there. I don't know what the problem is. I don't understand. I love Ladas. Her finger got caught in the belts and the engine did the rest. I woke up to her screaming. Flat highway. Why would somebody do that anyways? What is the point of that? Is it some kind of joke or something? I think after you feel improperly parked, you should get a trip to the showers and cold bag lunch to go. After spending $1,000, they should do something. How about mint? Can we get a bowl of mints? Like they used to be at the restaurants where there was a bowl there of those mints that have like the liquid center. They're like little square mints. There was a spoon there. I remember this as a kid, and you would just take them and eat them. Now they're probably all individually wrapped. My grandmother was reminiscing about paying 25 cents a gallon. I didn't have the heart to tell her how much her Depends went up. I will tell you, the lowest I've ever paid for gas at a gas station at a regular price is $64.9. Okay, 64.9 cents. I do remember that. So 25 cents, I'd have to go ask somebody about that. You can subscribe to PC Miler for $2.99 a month. Then you can see all the settings. They pays PC Miler zip to zip, practical miles, and no tolls checked. Sweet. Almost every company pays zip to zip. No, places are paying practical miles. Werner pays zip to zip. Yikes. And I saw this on there too. Somebody, I forget the name of the company. They advertised every mile you drive is paid. We pay practical miles. That's two different things. Okay. Every mile you drive is paid is called hub miles. Somebody should let them know that. Did I watch the CEO of Flying J? Did I watch him do what? What did he say? Companies bill zip to zip out of that gigantic book. Remember the book? I heard Schneider's going to hourly pay $21.50 for driving and $15 an hour for on duty. That's interesting. For the whole thing, $21.50 people are not going to like. That's only, 35 cents a mile, 38 cents a mile. So that's not going to be great, especially since they won't pay any overtime for that. I thought they were just going to pay for all your on-duty time. But they didn't say they're going to pay hourly for driving time. $21.50 an hour to drive, not near enough money. Nobody would consider doing it for that, or nobody should do it. PAM pays zip to zip, and any viewers experience this from PAM? PAM is horrible if it's PAM. Okay, just leave there as soon as you can. They should give you some KY jelly. Yeah, for $21.50 they ought to give you something. You know, 40 cents is $24 an hour at 60 miles an hour. So $21.50, no way. Ohio's so lame, but the farmers here know how to make dough with everything that they grow. Very good. Where's Jim Rockford when you need him? Right, he didn't worry about putting gas in his gold Firebird. So what is the real reason the high fuel prices? I heard it's Biden pushing electric vehicles. Well, they're very expensive. I've heard it's the Ukraine war, and now I heard it's fracking running dry. So what is it? Dang it, it's all these things. Well, the electric vehicles, I did hear him say that, if you can't afford gas, just go buy an electric vehicle. Well, that's brilliant. My car is paid for. The Sonic is paid for. So it gets 37 miles to the gallon. So I'm going to go buy a $60,000 Tesla so I don't have to buy gas. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Went through all the hoops and interviews with Maverick and just got passed over. Really? I'm still a stay-at-home autism dad and think my trucking years are over. I'm surprised. Although Maverick has always been weird about that stuff. Don't let that stop you because of Maverick. Okay, there's plenty of places to go, but I've heard that over the years where people write in and it's been months and then they don't hire people and they have some weird things. So trucking is never over until you say it's over. So there's trucking for you. Smith pays zip to zip. People are paying practical miles. John Zablack, have to go. Thanks for the show. Well, thank you for coming back in on a Tuesday. Who pays IFTA tax? That's who? Maverick Logistics pays mileage and hourly similar to what the Lindy Group paid, but you never see a dime of overtime, but a buttload of hours. Yeah, because they don't have to pay you overtime. That $21.50 is not going to cut it at Schneider. They advertise. There's no way they can advertise that and get anybody to come in. Practical miles doesn't change it being zip to zip. Practical miles means a way a driver would drive a truck. The other options are shortest and fastest. It should pay address to address. Practical miles. I get paid every mile I run. That's true there. They pay all miles. I love when places advertise one thing and then say something else exactly like 2 seconds later in their same ad. When I was a kid, my old man would send me to the gas station with 50 cents and would fill a 5-gallon gas can. Whew. Wow. That's a while ago. I don't ever remember that. Even as a little kid, I don't remember gas being lower than in the 30s, I think. Because, of course, even though you're 4, maybe 6, 7, you'd go fill the car up. Naturally, grandfather would have you fill up the Impala, the 72 Impala behind the license plate. Oh, go fill the car up. I'm going to go inside and get some key, which is chewing tobacco, for those of you that don't know. Right, love it. Then you get in the car without a seatbelt on and peeled out of there. The company I work for, when you get into metros like LA, it gives you mileage plus hourly pay, at least to bump it up a little bit where you sit in traffic. That's not a bad idea. Rail is a company paying address to address. All right, that's good. That seems like it would be beneficial. Anyone that likes reading should get a book, Will I See the Sunrise Tomorrow by James Melton, a retired Army veteran. What's that about? Can you get it books on tape? Did you hear about the Ford dealership in Florida trying to adjust the price on an F-150 electric? He wanted to double the price. Ford corporate ordered him not to, and he went ahead anyways. Yeah, see, they're independent dealers. And if it sells, then the problem is Ford has set the price too low. That's how you know the price is too low on a vehicle. When somebody can add all this money to it and it'll sell immediately. Ford has set the price too low. Even Raggedy JCT started pairing practical miles. It did say that in their ad, practical miles. I'm not selling my pickup. Oh my gosh, you could sell it right now. There was a 95 pickup. I just saw this ad yesterday for it. A 95. Okay, K10 or whatever it was. And it was $28,000. And it had like 90,000 miles on it. I asked not to get political, but Biden is making Carter look good. Carter is like, wow, finally, people are going to start loving me again. Can you fill up at the manhole? Manhole fill-ups are free. The Maverick Logistics number 32 is the outfit in Spokane. Oh, okay, that delivers fuel to Maverick service stations. Maybe they want more experienced people. There's got to be jobs out there. I mean, there are trucking companies, just get somewhere for a few months, right, to get some experience and then get into a place. That might be a way to do it. I got a weird look when I asked the girl at the hot dog stand to chili my wiener. Which is that Bozo? Are you up in the Chicago area at one of the Bozo stands? Hey, Scott, real howdy. What's happening? Dude, back in the day, $3 would fill a 20-gallon tank. That is way back in the day. Like I say, I paid $64.09, and, $10 would fill you up. Imagine financing a personal vehicle for 96 months. Yeah, you can go pretty long on them now. 96 months, just like 8 years later, you finally make your last payment. It's got 187,000 miles on it. It's been in the shop the last 6 months. I'm 90% disabled from the military, and my wife is an RN, so I don't really need to go back to trucking, right? And this is what has made being a stay-at-home autism dad possible for us. That is nice that somebody can stay home like that, whether it's her or you, or absolutely. And her being an RN is pretty helpful, especially right now. But Mark, being in your extreme upper 30s, how do you remember gas under $1 a gallon? Well, these are what's called, memories that are like passed on through genetics. I'm sure you've heard stuff about this. So sometimes you have memories that aren't yours but are like passed on to you, and that's a real thing. So that's how I remember it being under $1 a gallon. I wonder what my 98 Ram quad cab is worth. You know what? If you went on Kelley Blue Book, you'd be surprised at what that thing is worth. Go take it to a dealer and see, just to see, hey, what do you give me for this? You'll be very surprised, pleasantly surprised at what it's worth. And since it's 96 months of payments, you probably only have 2 years left to pay on it. So I think you're pretty good, in good shape on it. George Wilson, James Melton grew up with my dad in Appleton, Arkansas. Really? James went to Korea and came back and worked odd jobs and re-enlisted, and my dad said he was a restless kind of guy. The Biden administration has crushed domestic production. At least a dozen pipelines have been closed. Drilling on federal lands has been suspended. Roger Penske. Yeah, it seems like when you say, hey, stop drilling and, hey, why don't you produce less of a product, that the price of that product may increase over time. I have 20 years of trucking experience and a clean record with most of my career hauling hazmat tankers, but I still got passed over. I've been away from trucking since 2020. Once you're out, and it's a sad thing that you have a lot of experience, but once you're out a couple of years, it's tough. They almost see you like almost as a student. Like probably Schneider and all these places, they wouldn't even hire me to drive there because I haven't been interstate trucking, as they would call it, where you sleep in a truck and go interstate in the last year. So, yeah, that's a real problem. Electric vehicles just move greater problems elsewhere. They're great cars, though. Oh, sure, they're good. But there's no, for most people, there's no reason like they're going to save money. I can't turn in a car that is paid for a $60,000 car just because I'm going to save and not buy any gas. I mean, there's no savings in it yet. Genetic memory could also account for deja vu. That's correct. And it feels like we've had this conversation before, really. Did you hear about the guy who had a custom Ford built at the factory and the dealer was sent to refuse to release it to him flat highway? Why? Did they want more money or something? You got to get a signed contract. And Ford is doing to this, and all these companies are doing that. They want you to order your car, which, like I've always said, my dad always did that. Every car we went in and ordered, he had to go in, he'd go pick all of his little options out, and then 6 or 8 weeks later, we'd go back down to Oldsmobile and pick up our new Oldsmobile. Let's see. I lost. You could be paid address to address, and it could be less if someone has sent it the shortest rather than practical. Practical means the way a truck would drive. Midlife trucker. Wouldn't the best way then just to pay people hub miles so we don't have to worry about all this? How about that? Then wherever you drive, you get paid. In the early 2000s, T. Boone Pickens said in an interview, $1 PPG are over. Oh, really? T. Boone Pickens. Who would know better than him? Isn't that the guy from Blazing Saddles? I don't always steal cars, but when I do, they have a full tank of gas. Mr. Somewhere, always check that first. I don't think he has foreseen today's prices. They're crazy. There's actually people riding the bus here in Lafayette, which is very unusual. Nobody rides the bus here. Now, when you look at the bus, there's actually people in there. That's how you know gas is high. When I was a kid, I could still remember the gallon bubble on top of the pump. You pumped a gallon and you pumped another. Oh my gosh, a visible pump worth it, so you could see the thing. That's a ways ago. I never used a. I've seen visible pumps, but I've never used one. Never used a visible pump. I've used a pump that only showed 3 digits, so 64.9, and I remember when they switched over to the dollar, that the pumps would pump a half a gallon, so they'd show 55 cents for a half a gallon because they couldn't display the dollar. But if this is the system that has been created, shouldn't you have the right to fuel? No, you don't have a right to fuel. You only have a right to fuel if you can afford it, because it's just a product that's produced. If you need it, you can go buy it. James Melton, you have a right to get it if you have the money. James Melton worked construction with my dad in Chicago, and then he just disappeared. My dad somehow told him James went back in the Army. Really? They suspended the permits because they weren't being used. The oil company's profit margins are higher than ever. They purposely keeping production low. Well, the solution would be to not purchase their product, right? Or people could get a smaller car, that kind of thing. Reducing your consumption of it would reduce the demand for it, and the price would go down. It's a Fisher-Price truck. You'd still be surprised at what that's worth. I'll tell you that. Dealers would be like, we'll take it. Can you imagine what you get at the manhole with spending $1,000? Wow. That would be something. You would get a lot. You would get more than lunch there, I'll tell you that. You would get a roller wiener for that. If the Fifth Amendment is for self-incrimination, then one that apply to helping the DOT with inspection. Well, because it's not a criminal charge, usually an inspection. And people have brought this kind of thing up. But you're usually not being charged criminally at an inspection, like a brake chamber ticket or whatever is not a criminal charge. It's an infraction. So what about the odometer miles? People would abuse it, but you're still responsible if you get into an accident. They would, but the trucks are tracked now. That worked years ago. I could understand companies that say, well, drivers would drive all over. They're tracked. They can track the trucks and know exactly where they are. So you really can't abuse that stuff other than doing the Ferris Bueller, put a jack under it and leave it running all night. The funny thing is most drivers never ask how the mileage is calculated. No, they don't ask anything. They don't ask. They just see a company runs an ad, brings pizza to a truck, school or whatever, and just go there. I get kicked out of the McDonald's on Sagamore for asking for gravy on French fries. They go, what is this, Canada? Get out of here. I can understand that. Is that one down by the mall? And you're like, what are you doing with the double drive-thru? Gravy on my fries. They go, this ain't Burger King. Go down Teal to Burger King. My severely autistic son was issued a Tobix Dynavox communication tablet, and I discovered sexually explicit material in its basic programming. Even special need kids aren't safe. I never heard of that, and that's crazy. I hope you contacted somebody about that, because that was put on, I guess, when they made it. That's ridiculous. The stuff that goes on anymore, it's just, it isn't just getting to Mars. It's like, when does the whole society collapse? On top of that, the price of a barrel of oil has been way higher than it is now. There's no reason these high prices other than greed, which is their right, I guess. It is. That's the good thing about greed. It is their right. And nobody wants, it is funny that nobody wants anybody else to make money, but if somebody is offered a raise, most people accept it. Hey, here's a big raise. All right, I'll take it. Nobody says, well, I don't want to take it. I'm being greedy. So, but the thing is, you don't have a right to gasoline or diesel or anything else. That's the problem. Midlife Trucker, I remember when Sunoco was the only station not using 910. Sunoco. Right, I don't think we have a Sunoco here. If you steal a car, hope you can drive a stick. Of course. Is a car a necessity now if you don't live in the city? Joan, well, but you don't have to live outside the city. That's the other thing. You can live wherever you want, right? You can move anywhere. Heck, some people have a house they can drive around. So from what I understand. Electric car is like a free puppy, but buy the car, going to need the house wired for fast charge or mass transit. Rail, in my opinion, is the way to go. Except like here, mass transit stops at midnight, 1 o'clock. And there's no rail service in town here, so that's not a thing that's practical here. The dealer sold it before he could pick it up, and corporate got his truck back and stopped using that dealership. Good. They should, that's one way to control it. But once you give somebody a product, they can put whatever price. And if he did sell it for $140, Ford is pricing him too low. This is the Ticketmaster problem of pricing. Ticketmaster sells tickets to these shows for $40, and they immediately go on the black market to scalpers for, $200. Well, all right, and they get sold out immediately, so they should just sell them for that price to start with. I want pornography. Really? I want lubricant? Just the name of what I found. I reported to the local news. Good. Is that like an app that comes on there? Wow, these are weird apps on here. So is that device new then? Is that new to you? I mean, is it brand new or was it a used device? James Milton made a career out of the Army, and it's also a Vietnam veteran. And even after being a POW career, the book is a paperback form. It came out like 20 years ago. That's a good story. Those kind of stories, those are inspirational. Maybe kids should read that instead of all the garbage they get fed now. Fifth Amendment only applies if your life or liberty are at risk. You cannot invoke the Fifth in a civil case without the jury considering against you. Right, that's what I'm saying. For a criminal charge where your liberty is in jeopardy, you don't have to say anything. But for an infraction at a DOT scale where I'm not going to assist you with this, doesn't really apply. Great, so we go from being a slave to fuel only to become a slave to batteries. Oh, right, that's right. And then when the power goes out, you can't charge your car. Of course, I guess they would say when the power goes out, you can't fill your car either. Chicken hauler skateboarder. I'm late, but I'll listen to replay. Week 2 hauling fuel local. Wish I'd have started this years ago. Oh, what do you think? So better? How many hours? And, how far do you go? Home every day? I know how to tack out a horse. I'm not going electric, Mr. Somewhere. But you can't go like really long distances on a horse. What's the maximum range of a horse? Sunoco's all over Texas. Yeah, we used to have them. There were Esso stations up here. Are the nuts in the manhole a little saltier today? Yes, it's all very humid there, and they have fans going. I'm sure the air will be blasting. It'll be a good time will be had by all. A house they can drive around. Oh, like my Volvo? Kind of. You know it has a driver's side airbag? Volvo's always big on airbags in semis. That is true. It's unusual. I think they're pretty much... You can get it in a Freightliner. I saw it on the thing, but most companies don't order it. Joan, I have a house I can drive around, but I don't want to pay over $5 a gallon. I like to eat. Right. Do you think you should have got the diesel, thinking about it now, or not? Of course, it was probably more money to buy the diesel one. Do not fear a DOT inspection. You'll probably be in good shape. The time apart is terrible. If you have your ducks in a row, you'd be going down the road. That's true. And if you got paid for your time, that would also be a good thing. Sierra England new hiring strategies to take new drivers to a Mormon strip club. Do they have those? That'd be something. Everybody keeps their clothes on. Remember Ohio and Ohio Bell? I remember Southwestern Bell. That was my first cell phone. Was Southwestern Bell. And I don't know why, but getting the cell phone in Indiana. But it was Southwestern Bell. Look, Trucker, are you going to be a guest on Trucker's Coach since you're at Harder? Oh, maybe. Didn't he go there too, I think? The Dynavox communication tablet was issued new through a speech therapy organization. All right, so... That's what I'm thinking. Was it somebody else and they put something on it? They've been in business 39 years. Those tablets are for special needs kids. Yes, okay, so nobody else ever had it. So it has to come from the factory then. I mean, you're right. I mean, kids not safe anywhere. You can't be on the internet. You can't walk around. You get shot at the mall. It's just ridiculous. Something should be done about that because if it's on yours, who knows how many of them it's on. And the kids where parents don't check like you do. A lot of parents don't care or anything, and I say that, but my mom's like, go outside and come back at dusk or whatever. And it's like 8 a.m. You don't come in and out or you'll have to stay in. So I don't know if they cared or not. I didn't see them all day. I guess that was a different time because all the neighbors would take care of you. So the West Coast ports, if you go to the ports, are ready to stay open an extra hour. Do you know they open at 8 o'clock? 8 in the morning. Isn't that great? But they're going to start opening at 6 in the morning. They can do a flex thing to 7. And there's a new contract coming up for these longshoremen, and they're going to actually open at 6 in the morning on the West Coast. Isn't that nice of them to open up so early? Oh, my gosh. A strip club with parking and fuel would be so profitable. I will tell you there are some of those in Nevada, right? Free showers. Free showers. Don't even have to buy fuel. I'm not in this for the referral dollars, and I'm not driving 57 miles an hour for 2,300 miles a week. Yeah, that would be, besides the no air, that would be horrible. That's not something I'd be able to do. Just remember, if it gets too tough out here, there's always room at the pole at the manhole. Well, of course, there's always room for one more. That's what we say. Just squeeze right in here at the manhole. We had an attic fan when I was a kid that could suck a breeze through the whole house. Oh, yes, I remember that. They would kick on and off. Those little flappy things, the fan would kick on and suck the hot air out. There was an air conditioner in the wall that was built into the wall, and it was gigantic. Must have been 3 feet across or whatever. And when you turned it on, the whole house would shake when the thing started going. And then the fan would start up in the attic, and my grandfather's toupee would go flying off, Trying to expose this. I'm sick of the indoctrination of our children and what they are being exposed to. And special needs kids are apparently no exception. Yeah, there's some sickos that don't care. Some kid, I'll just do it no matter who it is. Let's do it with this. It's got to be somebody at the factory, though, right? Got to be somebody at the factory. If the thing is brand new, it had to come from the factory that way. Are you going to renegotiate your Standard Oil sponsorship contract? Yes. No more Standard Oil here. SO only. I replaced my airbag with a blow-up valve. I'll tell you, Volvo's known for those airbags and steering wheels. I could have bought a diesel, but I chose gas because the parts are cheaper and labor is cheaper. Oh, that's true. That is true, as well as gas versus diesel. Gas is less money, but diesel would have probably got better fuel mileage. Probably not much more, though. I bet a diesel, one of those big rigs, only gets 10. A Doty Trucking, how are you, Mark? Hope you're doing well. Doing great over here. Sweating it out today, I'll tell you that. Got fans blowing all over. Did you see that Tesla semi? I've seen pictures of it. They have yet to bring it out. I wish this guy would get going. He's got all these things going on. Let's get this truck out here. Hope you do some videos on the company. It would be nice to get some good info on Ardor. Best of luck to them. Best of luck. Yeah, look, 250 with a Penske truck, not bad because you can get this thing fixed everywhere. Just something to consider. The bottoms of the window screens had bugs from the attic fan and 2-inch window openings. Right. When you'd open that up, it would just suck that in. Yeah, they were super powerful. The houses aren't built with that kind of stuff anymore. Some of them have the spinny thing on top, the whirligig thing, but you don't see too many fans open up anymore like that. Blazing Saddle's nice. I wonder if companies would pay for the use of the William J. Lepetamy Memorial Thruway on the way to Rockridge. Somebody's got to go back and get some dimes. Oh, dang it. Go get a dime. What do you keep your thermostat on in the summer? 74. It's 74 in here, and there's several fans blasting air around in it. That's pretty nice. Keeps the humidity out of here. So I'm allowed to take any toll road I want, but I'm cheap. Well, I think that as an owner, they should have no say in your route or anything else, right? You're paying the toll, presumably, unless they're paying it. But certainly if you're paying it, yeah, you can go anywhere you want. It's your truck. Do whatever you want. That is part of the good part of owning the truck is, hey, well, you got nothing to say about where you go. I got exposed to pineapple on pizza in high school. That's also not right. The only reason carriers deny employment with a gap is because you're not conditioned of being away from home for long periods of time. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Go try for some kind of local job, really, rather than something that's gone necessarily. You're not conditioned, but they take people. They take people in a truck that are students and that have not been gone from home for periods of time either. So I don't know if that can be it or not. You're going to have your retirement party at the manhole someday. Oh, they'll throw a big cake. I wonder who will pop out of there. Watch my channel. I'm working on Ardor Express content, not begging for referrals, just info. Okay, yeah. Absolutely. Right there it is. All right, we'll have to fuzz this out of there later. I didn't know that. Get them out of there. The local news were very interested in what I found on my son's communication device, and the reporter was completely appalled and had me send everything to his email. I should hope so. This is something, that they should report on, and hopefully they will then go to whoever made this and go talk to them and get that out there. I totally agree with you. Yeah, they have no say in your route, filing, going home. Sure, you're your own boss, right? Hey, that's the beauty of owning the truck. You get to say everything you want. I totally agree. It gives you that freedom. That's something you don't get as a company driver. Glad to have the show again. Leave the word on the rant. Leave the word on the rant. All right. Trucker's coach can't keep a job. Good job. Jumps like a jack in the box. I do think once you find a place, you should stay there for a while if you could find a place. My girlfriend Braces gave me a present for my birthday, and now my kid's behind bars. Oh, yikes. That's good. That's very good. That's good. We could ride a bird scooter for that one. And you can ride those down to the manhole, by the way, here in town. If you park out, I think they have some at the truck stop out there, and you can take those down to the manhole. Is there a manhole on Mars? Well, we can't get there yet, so we don't know. That'll be the first thing we build, though. That'll be the first thing if we ever get there. But, the way the country's going now, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get there. Told the speech that now we have been putting stuff on kids' devices that we know are going to kids. I mean, come on. I told the speech therapist that issued the tablet to my son what I discovered in the programming, and she dismissed it. She could have cared. Really? What person dismisses that immediately, especially somebody like that who's working with kids? And maybe that person put it on there. I mean, nobody who works with kids would dismiss that. Come on. See, this is why we're not going to get to Mars. We're just going to implode ourselves right here. I'll get into starting in a new slide. Okay, I recommended Cheeseman Mills Transfer. I wouldn't go to a bad company. Each has been a step in my learning. Right, and now you're off on your own? And then what? Now we could put a second truck on and a third truck? Boy, you could be off to the races. Way beyond what I will do. Because that kind of thing, it just never appealed to me for some reason. It's not for everybody. And that's the thing. Like Clint Eastwood said, right? Man's got to know his limitations. So if it's something, I don't want to do this is not for me, then I shouldn't go do it. And that should be the same for everybody in trucking and everything else. So if there's something you really don't want to do, don't do it. Life is too short to just go do stuff. I should be starting with Cheeseman next month as long as I pass my CDL in Doty Trucking. That's pretty awesome. There is no Mars besides it was a pagan god. Well, it's flat. That's why sometimes you can't see it, just like Earth. And that's the thing of it. When it's on its side like this and we're even with it, you can't see it because it's so thin, because it's flat. And it's just a red line in the sky that you'll see sometimes. But we all know, that's just basic science right there. I keep hoping something will start turning this modern day Sodom and Gomorrah society of ours around. Now, those days have passed, unfortunately. Those days have long passed. Somebody posted the other day, one of my nieces posted something like something about needing a village, and there is no village, that everybody's on their own. You have to raise kids in a village, something to that effect. And I wrote to her, I go, look, there's a village. I go, you goofy young parents don't want it. As a kid growing up, I remember walking down the street. If you were doing something wrong down the street, and it's a little kid, you're 5 or whatever, the neighbors would beat you and then drag you home to your parents by your ear, and your parents would beat you, invite them to beat you again, and then make you apologize, and then you would have to apologize to your parents for embarrassing them in front of the neighbors. And so that's why you didn't have any problems anywhere, because everybody was watching you. The whole village was, and if you had a problem, they would come and help you. But if you were doing something wrong, they pointed it out to you and brought you back to your parents. And parents today won't allow that. They won't allow it. Oh, my little Brexon wouldn't do anything, right? Don't touch my kid or whatever. No, that's why we're where we are, right? The whole village needs to watch everybody. People up in arms over $5 a gallon fuel, but only takes $2 a gallon of milk, right? Is that how much milk is? I haven't drank milk. The only difference is nobody puts 20 gallons of milk in their cornflakes, right? What is milk now? Eggs were like $2.89 a dozen or something. They went up. Food is way up. I'll give you that. Cat food, crazy. Where's the cat? She needs to go to work too. I don't know where she is. She needs to get a job too. I'm in the lease operation with Training Wheels. Since everything is by the mile, no loss. Later, I'll look at a percentage plan. The good thing about that by the mile thing, at least, even at other places, there too, when you go home, you don't have this huge. You don't have this huge payment. So if you can take some time off, you don't have to come back and you're $1,200 behind, $1,500 behind. That is a good idea. Heard Mike and Ike split up. Good. I never liked those. They're like a C level. They're in the C level in the vending machine hierarchy. They're C level at best. I mean, you got to go through a lot of other things before you get to the Mike and Ike's. I mean, I'd rather Good and Plenty it before I grab those. Michael Swift, ciao for now. Got to get some sleep. All right, thanks for being here on a Tuesday. I appreciate it. Save that money. Buy your truck with your own money. Yeah. If you had an accident due to equipment failure and was charged, wouldn't your defense be you're not a mechanic and just a truck driver? Well, you're supposed to point things out to the mechanic, right? So the defense wouldn't work great because you're like, even though you're not a mechanic, as soon as you know there's a problem, you have to get it fixed. And it doesn't mean you have to fix it, but you have to have somebody fix it. So I don't think that works. We didn't have school shootings back then. Kids had discipline. Atari was our video game. We played lawn jarts. I had jarts. I had jarts in the yard, and I do not know how I'm not dead because we would throw them straight up in the air and watch them come back down. So I don't know how I didn't do that. Right. There were no school shootings. I never took the gun. There were guns all over the house. Never took a gun to school. Right. Because the neighbors would drag me back. Hey, your kid's got a gun. And they'd give me the gun. And then my dad would probably shoot me with the gun and say, hey, see what happens when you get a gun? You get shot. See, so it isn't any good. So no, we didn't do any of that. You described my child 3 whippings before I made it home. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. The neighbors would whip you and then drag you home by your ear to your parents. And your parents are mortified that you were not behaving properly in front of the neighbors. So and that was a village raising kids. Now parents, like my niece and all these other younger people, would never allow you to even yell at their kid or say anything to them, much less drag them home or whatever. And that's the problem. There's a village. They don't want the village. Tuesday today. I got time today, so out on Tuesday. Would you consider moving to Wyoming? I would, but the winters are kind of rough, and I don't like the winters as it is. If I could get a lot of land, like what's his face, Kanye, maybe. I considered buying his place because I guess they put it up for sale. I had a bid in, but they didn't accept my bid. Just the winters. It's 91, but feels like 101. Oh, it's crazy out. What is the dew point now? Let's get a weather update. Weather and traffic here. We'll get a dew point update. Dew point is 77 degrees. 91 out with a 77 degree dew point right now. That is super high, oppressive temperature. Trouble Web, I get 35 miles per gallon in my car. When I think about walking 35 miles, $5 still sounds like a pretty good deal. Exactly. Right? And people say, well, where are you going to fill up? I go, I don't know. When I need gas, I'm going to fill up because I know I'm not walking anywhere. So I'm going to put gas in my car wherever it is. That's the story. So it's $5, $5.20, whatever. Then I just fill it up for $5.20. My wife and I have started to discuss taking our 3 kids out of public school and homeschooling them. That would be the best thing that ever happened to those kids. That would be the best thing for all kids today. Public school is just a shell of what it used to be. It's just an indoctrination center for the government. It's horrible. Take them out and homeschool them. I thought Mars was shaped like a pyramid. Well, it's flat. It's got to be flat. We all know from science class, and I went to good public schools, all the planets are flat. So Mars also has to be flat. Now the moon is not a planet, so it's round. But all the planets are flat. Duh. We all know that. Steel Horse, I love lawn darts. Did you have jarts, though? My jarts, and for many of you, were metal, and they weighed, a couple of pounds a jart, I think. We would toss them up, and they come zooming back. You could, almost hear them coming down like Tom Cruise flying overhead. And those things, if it would have hit you in the head, it would have killed you, and I think that's why they got recalled. I've looked for years for a set of them, and I cannot find them. I go to garage sales occasionally and stuff because you're not allowed to sell them. So as soon as I find them at a garage sale or whatever, I'm going to buy a set of them. But the government is showing you could demand the right for fuel. Just because they build out the banks, they don't have the right to be bailed out. I agree they don't have the right to be bailed out. Banks, car companies, all that. I agree. But I don't think you have a right to fuel. I remember these steel-tipped lawn darts. It's amazing we weren't maimed, blinded, or dead. Oh, yeah. What did they weighed like 2 pounds, and we were idiots because we're throwing them up in the air. My friend throwing them all over, throwing them at each other. We're hitting each other. Hilarious. You got jarting your neck, blood spurting everywhere. Ha ha. Those were the days. My dad left his guns unlocked. They were just scared of it. Our parents, we tried to stay good. Joan Harper. Exactly. My dad, too. Here, too. Guns unlocked. What's the point of locking them in a safe? How? When somebody's coming in the house, hang on a minute. Let me go get to the safe. Right. No, that's not how it works, right? Presume gum right there. We're ready to go. So it was the same growing up, too. But my dad started taking me to the range when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I could disassemble the guns and everything. Absolutely. If diesel is just a reminder to hose and a good suck will save you a lot of money, modern problems require modern solutions. Well, they have those little mesh things in there, right? Now parents side with the kids, not the teacher. My brother didn't say ma'am and had an attitude. After I got up off the floor, he apologized. No one called the police. Right. Exactly. Ma'am and sir, you didn't talk to anybody until you were addressed by an adult. You didn't just walk up and say something. You're a kid. Know your place. If we get spanked at school, then after that mother got us, and when Dad got home, we got spanked from him. There was a paddle hanging in the principal's office in grade school with holes in it. And they're like, so it goes faster against your butt. Just put it on the rant. It may be on a podcast. Should have bid with Love's Points. Look, I put in a $10,000 bid, and I thought, I'm for sure it's like 10,000 acres. It's $1 an acre. It's Wyoming. How much could it be? But apparently it's worth millions of dollars. Because it is true. Connie did just sell his place out there. It's 84 in Flint. That's better than here. The humidity is what is killing you outside. Don't do any hard work outside today. The village neighbors of yesterday have turned into the Karens of today. And I don't understand it. I really don't get it. You know, the neighbors, the village is ready to watch your kids and you just won't let them. We got to pick the switch we got spanked with. That's something, right? Go out and go get a weapon that I'm going to beat you with. Right, and come back with a good one. That was great. That's great. A couple of times I had to go pick my own switch, and I don't need the gaming system. Kelly, right. Hey, here, go find me something to beat you and get back here right away. I can remember 4 boys on the side of the road, hands on the station wagon, my dad with a belt. No one called the police. Wow. Wow. That's taking care of business. 93 degrees feels like 103. Yeah. Oh, in Illinois? Yeah, hot. That humidity, right? I don't know. Even owning the truck, I think today, I think we're going to kick the air on tonight for me. Have you seen Maverick's digital mirrors on their trucks? No, but I've seen some videos of the kind of thing. Are they already using them on the trucks? I wonder what the drivers think about that. George Wilson, thanks, Mark. Glad you're back. It's good to be back, even on a Taco Tuesday. I don't remember the name. They had a weight with a slide on it. Awesome stuff. Wish they still sold them. Yeah, you can't. They recalled them all. Maybe I should make some if it's legal to do so. It's probably not, but go ahead. Who's going to say anything? Lawn darts. They're called jarts, right? Jeff Foxford, they did a bit on that. You get hit in the head with one of those, your color get a coloring book for the rest of your life. Exactly. For those of you that don't, you can look them up. I'm sure there's pages about jarts. They're metal with wings and weighed at least a pound, probably a couple of pounds. And you threw them into a ring that you put on the ground. You got points or whatever, the closest to the ring. But we would throw them at each other, and they were super dangerous. A lot of people went to the emergency room from them. Fun, good times. I got a couple of swats in school once. Well, see, we didn't have to go get something in school. They already had a paddle there. With both feet. Oh, that's interesting. Not only does one not have a right to fuel, no one has a right to a vehicle that burns fuel. I agree with you. I totally agree. You do not have a right to the vehicle. You have to purchase that as well. Absolutely. My dad has always said children were to be seen and not heard. That is correct. That's correct. Growing up in the 70s, we had the jarts, BB gun fights. I never had a BB gun. Jumping our banana seat bikes. I did have a Schwinn banana seat bike. Running around till it got dark. Of course. Didn't worry about being abducted. That's true. Well, but most kids are not abducted by strangers. They're abducted by somebody they know, even today. So it's not some goofball rolling around in a white van, you know. My dad taught us there were consequences to our actions, and that wasn't timeouts, right? And you learned that way, and nobody thought you were being abused. Even to this day, people are, oh, they abused me. I don't think so. Hope all stay safe and hydrated, and keep close tabs on your tires and belts and hoses. Yeah, don't be running today of all days. So hot. Do not run, because we're going to get 99 degrees here today as a temperature. Do not run tires that are not inflated and stuff, because they are going to get hot. And I know some trucks, some of the new Cascadias that were coming in have a little gauge on there with the tire temperature. That's pretty cool. So keep watch of those. You watch, those are going to be in the super warm range. Pilot Flying J CEO said it was told to reduce diesel by 20%, and they said rail cars that transport DEF would be limited in the future. Now report Northeast Pilot no DEF. I did hear there's DEF shortages coming soon. So, but I've always said fill that up every time you stop. People don't like to do it, but I don't mind. I'd rather put 2 gallons in every now and then than, 14 gallons in at the end of the week. There's going to be DEF problems, and that is a real problem. If you can't get DEF, boy, how are you going to fill how are you going to drive? I think if your company allows it, or if you own the truck, you might want to buy a box or 2 of DEF and have it underneath the cab there in the little storage thing, just in case there's somewhere where you're low and just can't get it. Get a box, 2 boxes, and put them down there. And what are those boxes? $10, $15, worth putting it down there. Some companies will let you buy it. I bought a big tree limb. They said, no, go to the willow tree. You can't, no. They got that all going on. They already know what they're doing. They're like, no, none of this. And the thing is, bringing in a switch that's not correct it's going to be worse when you go get the right one because you're trying to be all clever. Oh, you think you're a smart guy, huh? Right. Okay. Yeah. So Maverick drivers love the digital mirrors, do they? With the screens in there, I think it would take some getting used to. And I think that the longer somebody's been driving, the less they would like it, maybe, depending on where they are with technology. Because we got a guy, no cell phone, hates technology and all that, doesn't like the logs. I don't think that person's going to like digital mirrors. Flat highway, when I got suspended from school, my grandfather sent MPs to get me and had me run drills when he was stationed at Fort Dick in New Jersey. Ha! Nice. That's pretty. Oh, he didn't go yell at the school and sue them and say that, oh, you're mistreating my little boy here. I don't think so, right? You're mistreating him. It's not right. It's going to hurt his feelings. That's what would happen today, and that's the problem. 94 in Eden, Ohio, Flying J in Perrysburg, half underwater. Doing why? And which half? Can you still go in there and get pizza? That's my question. Those paddles to the holes hurt worse. That's what they said, too. They're like, the holes make it go faster. That's what they suggested to us. And it was hanging there on the wall. Like, hey, your butt could meet this someday. Is this going to be the new regular day or is this just a one-off? It's a one-off at the moment. Our elementary principal had a paddle named the Board of Education. Oh, that's very clever. Now it would be the Board of Lawsuits, unfortunately. My dad never killed any of us, but we knew it was a real possibility. Yeah, he's like, look, I made one. I'll make another one look just like you. So no problem. So I was always told even if I was taken, they'd bring me back because I drive them crazy. They wouldn't even want you. They go, just no way. But the thing is, people are not usually taken by somebody they don't know. All right, it's a family member a lot of the time. Some kids do get abducted, but majority is family. Let's see. The William J. Lepetame toll road. Yes. What will that whole think of the next? Somebody run back to town and get us. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, I'm out of dimes. Somebody's got to go back and get some dimes. Oh, my gosh. People from Arizona are laughing at us, Miss Westerners. It's a dry heat. Yeah, it's a dry heat. It's 113 degrees out dry. But today it's blah. No one has the right to roller wieners, not unless they can afford them. But, roller wieners are provided at the manhole. If you don't have any money, I'm sure there's some kind of bartering that can be done there for you to get what you need put in your mouth for you. The high school I went to, a lot of the students had gun racks in their pickup trucks. Did they bring a gun to school? Now, that didn't happen because I lived in the city. I went to Hammond High School and even living in Calumet City, Woodrow Wilson Elementary. So that wasn't here. But did they bring guns to school too? In case meat is a privilege for the privileged few. The DEF tanker delivered to the home terminal yesterday. Okay, so you have it right there, so you don't have to worry about it. I still think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a box under the truck. That would get you somewhere because when it runs out, the truck doesn't go anywhere. They had turned it off. That's another reason about gas and not diesel. Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about DEF, certainly. So that would save money because then that's an extra expense. That's a good point. Right, for the DEF, right. It's good having you back, Mark. Love your live streams and how you are able to acknowledge all comments. A lot of other live streams don't. Dark 688. Well, thank you very much. I do try to keep up. Sometimes it goes too fast, and I just can't keep up. But I try to keep up with everybody. And believe me, I appreciate everybody being here. Without people here, it's just me talking to the camera and the cat, who's not even here. N.E. Nebraska. Oh. The digital mirrors move to track the corner of the trailer when backing automatically. Do they do it automatically? Because right now we have power mirrors that can still do that. That's interesting if they move to track it, though. They said, plus you can make them darker or whatever inside, which I always wonder why they didn't do. Cars do this. Growing up, my parents had a paddle the size of a 2x4 with the phrase, never spank a child in the face. Nature provides a better place embossed on it. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Wow, a 2x4. That would keep you in line. Go get me my 2x4. And put that shovel to use. Oh, we almost lost a $400 hand card. What happens when those digital mirrors have a millisecond glitch or completely goes blank? That's the problem of technology. That if you're out driving and these digital mirrors, which are cameras outside the truck on the doors that point back or out there, then there's screens inside that you look at. They're inside the truck, so they're not affected by weather and everything. If they go out where you're driving, you have no mirrors. You can't even really drive it to the shop or whatever because you can't see. You can't see over there. So I don't know what they do about that. Do they do like I had an old Escort where I just stick a mirror? Because on the left side I had a round mirror. On the right side, that mirror was broken and it was square. And so I just bought a mirror and taped it on there. Could you do that to it? Big storm yesterday, parking lot half underwater, farm fields as far as you could see. It did storm here. Huge storms went through here yesterday, and I thought, it's going to clear out the heat. Didn't happen. I grew up in southeast Alaska. Wow. We carried guns all the time. I bought my first 12 gauge when I was 11 years old. Did you take it to school ever and use it or anything like that? No, probably not. B-Man. Yeah, I obtained my Class A CDL in January, but have no experience, and my wife wants hers. We want a team drive. What is a good starter company for us? Swift will let you get in there probably for a little bit and train her. You should talk to them about that. They're pretty good about that kind of thing, where you could train her and team together. Because I don't know if she's going to want to go in a truck for a few weeks with somebody she doesn't know. That would just be weird, I think. When I get home, I'm going to make scrambled eggs on the sidewalk. You're going to have to move those scooters out of the way first. Move those 6 bird scooters that they put back there after you get back home. First Monday after hunting season opened, there were guns in the back of pickup trucks. More guns than in the local armory. Trucker. Yeah, and nobody thought anything about it. You can't get DEF billed to safe delete the truck. But the problem is, you can't delete that there. Places get all upset about it. I'm giving my cat a bath. Oh, good luck with that. Of course, your cats probably take to it a little bit better, right? Then Gracie here wouldn't have anything to do with that. Let's see if I could find this. Right, like this. Right, all puff-balled up. Exactly. Does it need a bath? Gracie just takes care of herself with that kind of stuff. Unless you turn it off, the mirrors track the corner of the trailer. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You'd have to try it both ways and see. But the problem is when the technology stops working, you have no mirrors. You can't even drive anywhere. Can you imagine having to get the truck towed because the mirrors don't work? We didn't have rain yesterday, but it looked like it could. Oh, there were big purple storms that went through here on the radar. The cat came out. She doesn't like it and all that. Yeah, a problem. The mirror fails you. You use a U-Haul type mirror. Think about the mirrors crashed in parking lots. You go get a mirror and just like attach it out there in the corner, like on an old station wagon that you put up on the front of the hood. CRST is well on training the wife. Oh, will they let you train somebody? That'd be a horrible place to go, but at least you could both get trained. I took a rifle to school for show and tell, except if you took one to school for show and tell, people probably knew what it was. You're supposed to bring something unusual. We didn't take our guns into school, of course, but we had them in our trucks, Dark 680, and nobody thought anything about it probably. Oh, look at all those kids getting ready to do something. No, because you knew not to do anything. Everyone should at least know how to operate a revolver safely. Absolutely. Everyone should know how to operate whatever gun they have safely, of course, but certainly everybody should be able to operate a weapon. If the camera mirrors go, I must do what Jim Carrey did in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I didn't see that movie, though. I don't know what he did. Train my wife to drive a truck with her road rage. Well, I mean, would she not want to do it? Maybe it's only for you. Is that why you're in the truck by yourself there? My dad would let me pick which belt I was going to get whipped with. Oh, that's nice of him. So, what, thinner, thick? They have like, opens a door and he's got all these different belts. I'll take the green thick belt today. Big purple storms, was that purple rain? No, those are only in Minneapolis, in the Minnesota. How about that? See, I have Prince knowledge. I was like the paper logs in the old trucks before regen and DEF systems, but 20 years ago, I wish we had Google Maps. Yeah, it would have been nice to have Google Maps so you didn't have to drive down the road with the atlas on the steering wheel, which I may have done more than once, trying to figure out, was I supposed to go this way or turn down that road, and you're trying to drive the truck with your knee and look up every once in a while. Google Maps would have been good. He needs a bath so his hair doesn't mat. Probably, that cat probably does, right. Gracie wouldn't have anything to do with it. Wouldn't be a pleasant experience. Kids in Elko, Nevada had guns in their racks in the early 90s with both feet. Yeah. Did anybody think anything about it in Elko? No. Now everybody goes crazy about it. Alec Baldwin did nothing wrong. The gun went off. It just went off without him doing anything to it. I would like chili. Where are we going to get this, though? You're not close enough to Cincinnati. You know what? Wendy's. You can go to Wendy's down there. Roger Penske, I had to take my driving board out because of lawyers. Diving board. A driving board. How is it not the kid's fault for getting hurt on the diving board? Yeah, I agree. Right? Don't use this if you're an idiot. How about that? You know? The public pool, I never went on the high board up there. I didn't like it. Just too high for me. It was enough just to jump in the pool, from the side. That was enough for me. Can you picture Prince knocking on doors as a Jehovah's Witness, Midnight Trucker? It'd be pretty up. Like, do you want a sandwich or something? You only weigh 81 pounds. So that's what I would say to him. You could, yeah. I think Wendy's is going to be it for chili, right? His windshield was cracked bad. He hung out the driver's side window to see. Huh. Okay. I've had some with a few cracks, but not like that. That's good, though. He tolerates it if I don't get much of a fight. Well, that's impressive. Does the cat have its claws? I mean, Gracie would claw you to death and probably bite you to death. She bites me enough as it is. There's no way I'm putting her in there. If there's any washing to do, all that's done at the vet. But so far, so good. She hasn't gotten herself into anything where that needs to happen. Just her teeth cleaning every summer, which will be coming up here probably in July. We have to take the cat in and get their teeth cleaned at the vet's office, which you don't see much of anymore. Since they talked about these mirrors, there was an article that to get Gen Z, which they commented on, they're going to have to put more technology in the trucks. Otherwise, Gen Z people are not going to want to drive. That was the big article. Is that what's really holding people up from being a driver? I'd really love to, but the trucks just don't have a lot of technology in them. What kind of technology do we need in the truck that's not in there? That's going to be like, you know what? If only there was this in the truck, some Gen Z person is going to drive the truck. Okay, you do not declare. Good. I don't like it either. And good. So that would just be, I'd have to end up going to the hospital probably, and the cat probably wouldn't get clean anyways if that happened. So that's not a fight I want to deal with. Oh, you went to Catholic school. Oh, right. So no problem there. You walk down the aisles and get smacked. Heck, if you're in the hospital visiting somebody, the nuns come and smack me. I'm like, wow. Oh, it is St. Elizabeth. And like, whack, like Blues Brothers, right? I will not take your filthy money when she whacks us too. We're going to have scooter fights soon. These bird things are all over the place. And I agree with you. I believe there were a bunch of them in front of your driveway because I see them all over town. Run those things over. Tell Bird, I'd write Bird, I think it's Bird. Say, look, if you keep these things in front of my house, I'm going to throw in a dumpster. Declawing is like cutting off toes. I totally agree with you. It should be banned. It should be 100% banned. I don't do it, never do it. I get scratching posts. Or my leg, apparently. I got bad directions in the Bronx. Trying to find my way to Sultana Crackers. What's up, Crackers? Sultana Crackers in Hunts Point. Wound up in a neighborhood, and I was sweating bullets trying to get out of that situation. Those, even with technology, going to the boroughs, I call places and then look at the map, GPS, everything. How do I get here? Where am I going? Because I don't want those kind of problems. I remember once I was heavy going in there, so I had to have the tandems further back than I wanted to. After I got past the last scale, I stopped, like on the side of the road, and pulled them all the way up so I could get in and out of the place. Pro tip, you can bathe your cat by placing in the toilet bowl, gently closing the lid and flushing several times, Mr. Somewhere. Oh, that'd be something. What do you think about that, Gracie? Go in the toilet for a bath? Oh my gosh. The thing is, you ever lift that cat out of there? That's going to be your last day. I got bad directions in Newark and found myself in the worst ghetto I'd ever seen in a long-nosed Pete in a 53-foot reefer. Sometimes even the calls, but I would be super nervous. I never like going there. Still to this day don't like going there. Just because the directions. One wrong turn, you can't back under the bridge. You can't turn the corners. You just can't. It's just not worth it. That's the swirly bath. That's not a bath that the cat is going to really appreciate. When my dad was on Franklin Park, he'd had to handle the kids in the auditorium when the Bell's Gun Shop did show at East Layden High School, Franklin Park, Illinois. Oh, 58 to 63. Okay, when it's on the Franklin Park PD. Yeah, but then they didn't have the problem. Police were more respected by people then than they are now. All right, listen to the stories from my dad. They just walk around and whack people in the head and tell them to go do stuff or whatever. Yeah, not like today. If I had to pick up my own belt, it would probably be an idiot and pick the one with the spikes in it. Here's the spike belt, or the suspenders. Dad whips off his suspenders. Oh, here we go. Now we're whipping the suspenders, and they're like elasticy. So you go running away, you'd probably be able to flick those and catch me halfway across the house. Going to the Bronx on 995 today, the sign still says 1210. The truck fits through. That's Chicago too, right? A lot of the bridges in Chicago, the thing is not even close to being accurate. You got to get a bridge map, which used to be on paper. There's probably an app for it now. It shows the actual height of all the bridges. Just because the thing says a certain size, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You can fit under a lot of, some are 11, 10 or something, I think, and I fit under those. And some say 14 feet and you can't get under them. Bad directions put me in Cabrini Green. Well, I guess that won't happen anymore. Keep moving through there. Keep moving. I had to do that with the tandems. I was barely legal at 41-foot mark and was going into Baltimore. I passed the final scale and stopped to slide them up. Right, I passed that last scale in Jersey or somewhere, and I'm like, forget it. All the way up they went. All the way up. Because I thought, I'm never going to get around here. We have a cat dryer. It looks like a microwave. You put that cat in a microwave? Is that why it's so fluffy? I wonder what she would think about that. If it was like a hair dryer, she might like that. She'll sit in front of the fan. So I could see her sitting in front of a cat dryer. But the problem is getting her wet. That's the part she's really not going to appreciate as much as you would think. Police are corrupt too, though not all are innocent. I agree. That's what everybody, though, right? In every industry and everywhere you go. People are corrupt. I've been seeing the gay pride flag flying under the American flag and state flag in front of government buildings. Have you seen that? I haven't, but I haven't been out today. It's been 1,000 degrees. But I totally believe it, right? Everybody panders, just panders. And I never thought that they should do that, right? I always thought it was one level. So if the American flag is flying, you can go one level down on that pole, so a state flag. You don't get to fly some dinky flag on there. Any other flag flies under its own pole, and it has to be lower than the American flag. Nobody flies as high as the American flag, period. Cabrini Green, Mr. Somewhere. Yeah, Cabrini Green was a Chicago housing project that has been since torn down. With the Robert Taylor homes, those were torn down as well. And they were known for, maybe a higher crime rate than the rest of the city had. And what they did is gave everybody vouchers to go live out in town. And so they say, okay, here's a really high crime rate area. Let's give everybody that lives here a voucher so they can go get housing somewhere else. So those people spread out through town. They just spread it out, all the crime into town, because it isn't the situation that brings the crime. I've always said, right? People can grow up in it like abject poverty and not be criminals. You don't have to be criminal. It's a person. So you're taking a person out of the what would have been a ghetto, right? The Cabrini Green, but you're not taking that out of the person. It's a person thing. It's not a location thing. You're either a good person or you aren't, regardless of where you're living. Group in Chicago, the things I've seen, yeah, Cabrini Green, like Cabrini Green, and the Robert Taylor homes, which are on the south side, right? It's an enclosed hair dryer, a little bit. Oh, kind of like at the hair salon that women, although probably men have put over their hair, and that plastic thing that fills up with air. My mom had one at home, like a portable one. She put her rollers in and put that thing over. Does it look like that, where you put the cat like in a plastic bag? And does it poof up from the air in there? That's kind of clever. I wonder what you think about that. I think the flag is stupid. I do not believe America is good. I have my reasons why, I'm sure. Cranian Village, Noble Square neighborhood off Ashland. All right. I did live on North Whipple, 1800 or so North Whipple for a while in Chicago. My first job, economy trucking. So I moved up to Chicago for my very first job, and that was a real adventure. An adventure that I don't want to experience again. Better class of neighbors to rob. That's the thing of it, right? That's the thing. Moving where they are doesn't change who they are. That's the problem. And somebody can get out of whatever situation they're in. I think they could go drive a truck, just like I did. So, which got me out from living in the streets to living in the streets. But I just live in better streets. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that changes anything. Cabrini Green, they tore those down years ago. Same with the Robert Taylor homes. Those got torn down. A lot of that housing developments got torn down. Now, to be honest, the city didn't really take care of those buildings in like the best way possible. So their landlord, they didn't have like the best landlords. Let's just say that. They are going to add in Louisiana, they want to add an electric vehicle fee, which would include semis. So when you get your electric semi, they're going to add a fee to the license plate. Isn't that nice? And they were griping about it, but they do that here too. Indiana adds a fee to the license plate of electric cars, $200 a year on top of the license plate fee. A lot of states do that. So it isn't like you're never paying for gas. You're still paying the gas tax, just not paying for gas. Mark was moving on up. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. I split Chicago as a teen, Mr. Somewhere. Yeah. After that local job, I moved out of that place. I never moved back to Chicago, certainly. Went on the road, and that was the end of that. Why is it the south side of a lot of cities is often the rough parts of town? South Central, the South Bronx, South Boston, South Chicago. Yeah, South Lafayette. Same way. I guess because it's warmer there, I don't know. Criminals like to live in the south area. I don't know why that is, but yeah. All the criminals move to the south side. Chicago, though, I think it's because of ease of access to other areas. 8094 is south, 80 is there. It's all ease of access. Nice cold cucumbers over at the Pink Pussycat. Oh, you can put those on your eyes today. Lived on Whipple. Did you squeeze the Charmin? He lived there too, I think. Yeah, no, 1820 or so, right in there, North Whipple. I don't remember the exact address. It was an old building that had been converted. West Side is no joke. You got to go all the way west for it to be better, like West Chicago. 1800 Whipple, isn't that Humboldt Park? See, I don't know all the little cities. Like each section has its own like little city name. I don't know. I remember North Whipple, and it was like close to Armitage and North Avenue at 18th, right in there. That's what I remember. So. This was a while ago, as you can imagine, back in extreme upper 30s. This would have been 1988 that I lived there. So when I started driving that first trucking job right there, and that was it right in there. Spokane is completely opposite. The north side is the ghetto, and the south side is the ritzy area. Well, see, because you're on the other side, it's reversed because you're west side. This is the east side. West side north, east side south. Because you're on the other side of the country. I know Humboldt well lived. Division and Western. I will tell you that job let me learn all the bridges in Chicago. You bought a paper map that you'd unfold, right, and then had every Chicago bridge on it. And you knew exactly how tall it was and just put up by the city. And it was accurate. I never hit a bridge. So you'd just go flying under 12'6" bridges. I'd see semis waiting there, blinking their lights, and I'd just go flying under there. Pretty hilarious. Because I had a Chicago bridge map. They take over the nice areas and bring drugs and gangs in, Joan Harper. Yeah, when you get a housing voucher. I got bad directions in Arkansas and ended up at the gate of Tucker Farms Federal Prison. Huh. Really? Did they need any liquid sugar, which I can't think of the name of it right now. By the way, how's that stay warm in the trailer? Is the trailer, is it insulated? Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Uh-oh. It's the landlord. Oh, my gosh. David Churchill Brown. Wow. That sounds like a very official name. I joined late, but great to be here. Thank you for being here today. Do you think the pigtail will ever be eliminated for lights when you back under your trailer? Will be automatic? I always wonder, why can't it be on the fifth wheel? Why can't that happen? Why does it have to be a line? Why can't the fifth wheel somehow be energized and, when the two touch, the trailer lights up? I never understood it. I'd like to see that, because then people wouldn't ruin that when they drop the trailer and pull out, and the light cord, you get in a truck and the light cord is 12 feet long. Same with the hoses, right? They're all stretched out. Like there's no curl to them, right? They're just straight. Oh, somebody dropped a trailer and forgot to unhook the lines. The dryer is enclosed and has a glass door. Really? So it is like a microwave. So is there different settings? There's like hairless, Persian, tabby, kind of like the popcorn setting and steak setting. So is there those kind of settings on it? You saw family in Cicero? Oh, all right. I didn't have anybody living up there. Closest I got to somebody living there is Lansing, Illinois. Hammond, which is way south side, Lansing, Illinois. Just got that because it was somewhere in town that I could go work right out of truck school, and they took you with no experience because then it wasn't a problem like it is now. Getting in a place without experience, really. You didn't have, there wasn't training like there is. CRST, a few places. Not much, though. Not much training. No, there wasn't like there is now where everybody wants all this training and everything. Did everybody go comment on the speed limiters from the FMCSA site? And what do you think is going to happen with that? Are we going to get a national speed limiter for commercial vehicles? And people don't realize commercial vehicles, there's a lot of commercial vehicles that are not semis. So they're going to have a weight limit on it. Or they're going to be limiting pickup trucks and other kind of things that are commercial vehicles. You recall hazmat, you need CDL even in a pickup truck. So that's going to be a problem. Oh, I didn't talk to them or anything, though. Well, of course, they're from Chicago, so we don't talk to them anymore. It has temperature settings, a blower setting, and a timer. Not my way, which is kind of funnier, where you have the settings, Persian, Tabby, right? All these Siamese. You get all these different settings on there. That's pretty good. The tank can hold heat for 5 days in the summer, 3 days in the winter. Oh, really? So if I saw one of your tanks in the winter, even if there's snow, it has no snow on it. You're saying even if it's sitting, it will melt the snow right off of it, presumably, because it's warm. That's pretty good. They will ignore all the comments and do what they want. Yeah, that's the thing. This guy who I talked about earlier, this individual driver who wants to have an exemption from the FMCSA, which I think is interesting. It doesn't give you good sleep. Even if everybody commented and said he should get it, they're not going to give it to him. So the comment section is only because the law makes you do it, and the comments are public record, so anybody can go look at them. But I don't think that anybody's going to do anything about the comments. Dark 680, I have to get my 5-year-old daughter. Wants me to join her in her learning program from Starfall Education on the computer. Thank you for your insight. Love your program. God bless, Dark 688. Well, thank you for being here. And go take care of that kid. That's always the most important thing, family. And look, let me know what goes on with this tablet device thing. This is ridiculous. And that somebody wasn't horrified that it works like that is just crazy. They shouldn't even be in the industry. I'm in the DC area crossing only the interstate with a drawbridge. The only interstate with a drawbridge. Drawbridge. I'm subject to the 65 speed limit in Indiana on my RV. Oh, yeah, because some states, in some states it's a weight limit. So depending on the RV, but I think it does say, right, RVs are, oh, no, because you're a vehicle towing a trailer. Indiana, it's towing a trailer is subject too, I think. Truck RG, just like the steering wheel has your buttons on it, it still works when you turn the wheel. Fifth wheel could be the same. Sounds like $1 million idea. Well, why hasn't it been done? Because it seems like that's the thing to do, right? Why do we have to have hoses? Why can't you just back up to a trailer and it lights up? It's the connection is standard. So the light cord, you can go pick up any kind of trailer and the light cord works. So there's no reason this can't be standardized. And you just back up to it and drive away. There should be a way to hook the air up to it also, really, but certainly the electric. We lived in Highland Square, part of Akron, and walked 1.8 miles to St. Bernard's Elementary at 5 years old. Snow and rain. I was 1.4 miles from high school because at 1.5 miles, you got the bus. So a friend of mine that lived a couple blocks away could take the bus, but I couldn't because we were 1.4 miles. And I said, we could pay, though. And I told my dad, well, we can just pay. And he goes, I'm not paying for that. Walk to school. So, yes, I had to walk to school, too. And I walked to elementary, which was when Woodrow Wilson Elementary. Not 1.8 miles. Probably 5 or 6 blocks, though, as a little kid. And would walk to school, absolutely. And nobody thought anything about it. Here you go off here. You're 5 or 6, go off to school. Hey, mom's like, see you later. See you tonight. Hours of service are maximums. They aren't meant to be the norm. This guy wants more than the maximum. He's like, he doesn't want the 70-hour limit. He doesn't want any limits. He wants it all gone. Here, if you want to comment on the speed limiter, here's a link for the speed limiter thing. Yeah, 26,000 pounds will be the threshold in some states it is. In Indiana, is it not a vehicle over 20,000? I don't remember what the sign says. I think it's vehicles that are towing trailers also, though. So I think you have that issue because you're towing your car. George Wilson, how will anyone be able to pass or merge or pull away from danger? It'll be total madness and frustration. Oh, I agree. But how is it now that companies, a lot of companies limit the speed of their truck already? But I agree, there shouldn't be governmental control on it. If what I discovered on my my autistic son's tablet gets coverage, it will be reported on KXLY4 on your side. The local news in Spokane. I just want other autism families to be aware of what I found. Oh, certainly this whole thing needs to be brought out to light. It could be on hundreds or thousands of these devices. Absolutely. St. Bernard's had no buses. They have van, but only for field trips. Sorry. You're going to have to walk your way in. There you go. Did you make it every day without causing destruction on the way? Well, with the way drivers slam into the fifth wheels, they would never work. Yeah, you hear that sometimes too, right? Hey, why are we going in reverse R2 at like 31 miles an hour to slam this trailer? Or the other way. They back under trailer. We just had this, 2 weeks ago? Somebody overdid a fifth wheel the same way. He's just backing under a trailer, and the trailer hits the back of his truck. Goofball. Oh, it was like, and then he can't get out from under it because the fifth wheel moved. Get out there cranking this thing down. Idiot. You got to check that stuff. I think they're correct on the trailer issue as well. The fifth wheels are expensive and houses are not. Invented greaseless fifth wheel. They have greaseless fifth wheels. Oh my gosh, I had those years ago. There's a thing that goes on the fifth wheel like a Teflon pad, and it also goes underneath the trailer, and no grease. Yeah, so they already have that. They already have greaseless fifth wheels. I walked to elementary school in Ogden, Utah, and had a pair of moon boots for the snow. Yeah, right. We just bundle up. I got my scarf on, my hat, big boots and everything. Sure. And just walked to school. Didn't think anything about it. Didn't have backpacks yet. Now everybody has a backpack all over the place. I see people walking around with backpacks. But you just grabbed your books, your Trapper Keeper, and went to school. Kelly, one company I worked for a year ago used to park west for directions. I ended up looking for a template bridge. Fortunately, it was in the middle of the night. Template bridge. Maybe a little destruction, a couple abandoned factories with lots of glass windows. Well, sometimes you're going to have to do that kind of stuff. It's already abandoned. I have no problem with RV drivers requiring a CDL for safety's sake. Well, if it's a weight thing, some RVs are the size of a bus. Some are smaller, but you can get a gigantic 3-axle Prevost that's $400,000. That's 45 feet long. And pull a huge trailer behind it. Maybe that person should be licensed up. Our family had a house in between elementary, junior high, and high school. No bus ever needed. Dang it. We actually had a crash in our garage across the main highway at a certain location. Huh. Yellow raincoat and black boots. Yeah, I had one of those ponchos, like a plastic, white, or clear, I guess, poncho that I would put on to go to school in the rain. I was still expected to get to school every day, generally in high school on my own, wake myself up, make breakfast, and be at school on time. Now kids today, their moms will go wake them up 4 times, cook some lavish breakfast for Brexon and Brandon, and take them to school in a $80,000 SUV and drop them off at the front door. Oh, bye, I'll miss you. My mom's like, see you later, whatever. She wasn't even up half the time. You just come home from school, mom's like, how was school? That kind of thing. It's just ridiculous. Teflon pads are $250. Is that all they are for the trailers? That's not bad. I'm sure you've seen them. You can put a pad on the fifth wheel and one underneath the trailer and non-stick or whatever, and no grease. You never have to grease. So it eliminates the need for grease and all this mess and everything. That's how they advertise it. So this is the greaseless fifth wheels is already a thing. And some trucks, I've had them, I haven't had those for years, had automatic greasers where you filled like a bucket or something that was built into the truck up with grease. The mechanics would fill it up, and it would automatically grease. And there was a button. It seems like there was a button to press, and there were holes in the fifth wheel, and it would squirt grease out of there, and it would grease the Zerk fittings everywhere, apparently. I'm not really a good mechanic, as you can tell, but there were trucks with automatic greasers, and it worked off of air, and it would grease everything up, so it would be automatically greased. Bowl of cereal and walk to school. Yeah, I prefer waffles, but I'm with you. I'll get my Lego waffles and put them in Eggo waffles, right? And Legos. I'd put those, toast them up, have my waffles with Mrs. Butterworth, and off to school. Latchkey kids, yeah, because you let yourself out. And some days in high school I would come home alone, but you just get to school in the morning. It was expected. I didn't grab guns and go to school or anything, and because you knew the whole neighborhood was watching you. Teflon maxi pants. Well, that'd be something. That would be pretty impressive. I wonder if those would sell. I'm not sure. Sometimes they're free in the bathroom. That's as far as I would go with those. Certainly. Let's see, but I have to do this, so we're going to go off to this. Oh, right. All right, don't forget, if you wear it, you should make it a parrot, right? So I have to get on out of here as I'm looking at the clock here. Today I got to go a little bit longer than normal. So I do want to go to Schuster Trucking was first today, and, he's got a video channel out there on the old YouTube internet thing. Maybe you should go check it out. That'd be really good. And now we can follow along as we now have a new owner-operator in the channel. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully good. Right at $2.50, you're going to be okay. $1.20, not so much. Not so much at $1.20. I don't think that's going to be good, really. Don't forget about Jay at Auto Transport Intel. Right? Be sure to check Jay out when you get over there. Tell him Mark said hi. I don't know if he'll care. I'm sure he will. Jay's a good guy, so we like Jay. Melissa had auto gear greasers until Heartland bought them. See, they screwed that up too. So there were all these auto greasing things where the truck like greased itself. You didn't have to do anything to it. Now you got to throw those little bags of grease on the fifth wheel that you buy. Our fifth wheels have the Teflon plates built into them. Okay, so you have them, right. And so there's no greasing. As long as all your trailers have the pad, you don't ever have to grease. As long as you pick up all your own trailers, no greasing. No greasing. And then there's no mess. No fuss, no muss. You don't have to use Dawn to get grease out of your way. David Churchill Brown is going to go. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Mark. Good to see you. Great live. Mr. Somewhere, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Schuster Trucking was first today. The Robert Taylor homes were across the danger stand Ryan from Comiskey Park. They stretched for more than 5 miles on the freeway. The east side had a gorgeous view of Lake Michigan. Yes, because you had to run that. I think it was Ashland. I don't remember the name, but you had to run that all the way down to 22nd Street Railroad there. Oh man, I can't. Was it the UP over there? I don't remember what rail it was. But you could only get under the interstate at like 51st Street or something. You couldn't get 35th Street and all. You couldn't get under because as soon as you got off to go over there, you couldn't get under the bridge. So we'd have to go up and then come straight back down Ashland or whatever that road was, right in front of the Robert Taylor homes. And you would not stop at the red lights. You just cruise those red lights at night. 2 or 3 of us would go nose to tail and not stop at the red lights because you risked either getting shot or killed or having all your freight stolen at a red light. It happened all the time. No police or nothing. And you just ran the lights all the way for like 3 miles, did not stop. Just honked the horn and kept going. And that's sad. That's sad. In a city of Chicago, all these millions of people, there's got to be jobs around. So, but that's how we did it then. Think Smith will keep those chromed out Pete's a midlife trucker for now because look, they can't get any trucks. It's not like they can go to International and say, hey, we need 100, or 200 trucks or whatever. They don't have them, but I don't think they'll buy them again. I think the next truck that people at Smith get, it's not going to be a long nose Pete. It's just not. I'm glad we don't live in or around Yellowstone National Park. You're going to be at home for a while. So I hope you got all your peanut butter, which you can't get because it just all got recalled. So now you can't even eat that. Yeah, everybody there is stuck either in or out. They can't get in and can't get out. Kelly, the company has worked for some of the drivers are really bad about grown landing Garrett homeless full extension. What the heck? I hope you can get everything sorted out. Yes, absolutely. The city's not responsible for maintenance of high-rise ghettos. They are under Uncle Soccer property. Who's Uncle Soccer? Don't want to say CarQuest. About landing CarQuest. Companies work some of the drivers out. Yeah, that one, I couldn't get to that one. And I couldn't get it through my head. But I do have to head on out. So let's see. Kelly Patterson, thank you for being here today, though. I do appreciate it. Roger Penske, I hope the race was good. I wondered if you went to it or not. I really wondered. Is Mr. Plow is here today? Thanks for being here. George Wilson, a midlife trucker. We're going to follow you along. I hope it goes good. Now, please, today, at least today, turn your air on for a little bit. David Churchill Brown was here. It sounds like an English, night or something. Chubba Wub was here today. I don't know what I'm talking about. John Zlayback was here today. Zay Black. That's better. That's better. I never get that right. Steel Horse, thank you for being here. I'd love to see a picture. If you have a picture of the cat cooler, that'd be hilarious. Oh, especially with that cat in it. Paul Harris was here today. I've never heard of such a thing, to be honest with you. Dashcam Sam was here today. See, I'd have to wrap her up in a towel so she didn't scratch me to death if it got to that point. Joan Harper was here today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Stay cool down there. Dark 688. Let me know what happens. I want to know what happens with that thing. It's disgusting. You're trying to help, and look what happens. Trucker Hershey was here today. Thanks for coming in today. John M. was here. Flat Highway. Thanks for being here. Watch those scooters. They are everywhere. If it's not Canadian geese, it's scooters all over the place. Agree with you. GP Transco was here today. Thank you for being here today. Things have been nice and peaceful here in Joliet, Illinois. That's awesome. Hot, though. Hot there, too, right? So, but it's all right. We got the air conditioning going on the basketball court. So, 25,000 was here today. So, we're going to head on out of here. Juan Lucio was here today. But we're going to go off to wherever we're headed off to next, to more adventures, of course. And we will be back again, of course. And there's that. Okay, so we will, of course, be back again. And will be a notice just like there was for this one. So I don't have an exact date yet, but we will be back. So thanks for watching. More videos coming out this week. That should be fun, too. And we'll be back